Okay. All right. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Posted on my links. I think that pretty much does it. Ooh, I should not have drank that moonshine so fast. But I am thoroughly loosened up, so I am prepared for a decent amount of bullshit, which I'm sure we will wade through reading Reddit stories. Let me post these links to Twitter and to Blue Sky. Voila, we are ready. All right. So I'm going to, without much preamble, go ahead and hop into it. One for the money, two for the show. That's left, left, right, go. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. Let's see what kind of bullshit Reddit's got for us today. Is this good mic position? Hold on. Gotta get comfortable. Get a swig of my tea. So, I didn't curate any stories. So, I will say general trigger warning for just about anything, right? Wow, that is some good tea. Okay. Just general trigger warnings for just everything. Anything that you can think of, just be aware because with a variety of Reddit stories, people tend to be like unhinged, right? People can say and do some heinous shit. So just be aware that I did not curate any of these before, so just, approach at your own peril. All right. Let's see. Am I asshole for ruining my sister-in-law's birthday by crying? Am I asshole for playing a voice recording to prove my friend her daughter is not nonverbal? Already nonverbal. Just a little. I don't know if that's your business. Okay, let's see. Am I the asshole for not leaving my planters or landscaping my lawn when I move? Give me one quick second because I want to check something. The asshole VTubers. Okay. All right. Just making sure that Reddit is behaving itself. Okay. There we are. All right. Change someone's baby's diaper. Okay, we'll start with this one just because it seems kind of like one of those cut and dry ones. Just because I mean, it already sounds like they're not the asshole, but let's see. They were ruled not the asshole, but as you will find out, Reddit is not always like on the money. Like just earlier I was listening to somebody read one where um this OP was getting hounded and I was like OP is definitely not the asshole, but they were getting hounded about like not doing their boss's job with them, like for them. So like every time you think, "Oh, Reddit is so anti this or pro that," just remember Reddit is comprised of a lot of people. You can't always assume that, yeah, everybody's going to be on one side or the other. Reddit is unique. We'll say that. All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to change someone's baby's diaper? All right. So this is by late for an appointment 1 day ago. Wow, they already ruled. Okay. Let me fix my face again. Why am I looking up so high? There we go. Better. All right. It says, my wife and I have been married 10 plus years and have a few kids. Sister-in-law and her husband had a baby 2 years ago. No major complaints. They just tend to ask for people to do stuff that I think they do themselves. One, they'll come over our house. They live an hour away. They'll ask ahead of time if we have their kids' favorite crackers on hand. Kind of sounds like your job to have your kids' favorite crackers, but all right. Why they don't just pack the crackers, I don't know. They are well off, not a money issue. Oh, are they just one of those I love my kid to death and so you should too? If one of them leaves the room, they'll ask one of us, my wife or kids, to be in charge of the baby, even if the other parent is right there, just on their phone scrolling or something. No, that's not it. This ain't it. Um, but whenever I say something to my wife, she says I'm being too much. The other day, we're having a dinner at mother-in-law's house when the baby had a poopy diaper. Sister-in-law looks at me and says in the sweetest voice, Uncle, can you change the diaper? She frequently does this when we're there, but it was the first time that I was asked. I answered politely, No, I'm sorry, I don't do that. You don't do diapers? No, I don't do other people's kids' diapers if their mom or dad is around. I mean, if I'm babysitting, sure thing. Yeah, but yeah, if the parents are around, I just feel like it's their job. Sister-in-law looks like she's ready to cry. Well, I feel selfish. All right, go change your baby's diaper. They smell. Go ahead and change them. I smile and try to set her at ease. Not trying to make you feel any way. Just telling you telling you a boundary is all. The table got really awkward and she got up and did the diaper. Afterwards, my wife blamed me for making sister-in-law feel bad and said I could just change the diaper. Not trying to make anyone feel bad, but I've had 3 kids and I always took the responsibility. I watched them, I packed for them, and I changed them. I'm not looking to be a secondary parent for this kid. Fucking right on, dude. Fucking A. Like, it's such a simple thing. Like, I know, like, parents are tired or whatever, but if you voluntarily and you voluntarily wanted and went through with having a child, it is 100% your responsibility. You don't get to pawn it off on other people, especially when you're around just scrolling on your phone. Get your ass up. You signed up for this, and it's not just an 18-year gig. I don't feel sorry for you. And no, his wife is wrong. Assuming it doesn't say, well, she said uncle. He said uncle, so, okay. It is not his responsibility to change this baby. It's not his responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility. It is your responsibility. You had them and or adopted them. That is your child. That's your shit to clean. Like, there's no other way around it. This is such a simple, straightforward one. Why is he even here? Like, even if his wife was just like, oh, you should have. Being peacekeeper does not keep the peace. I swear to you, if you say to yourself, I'm just going to be the peacekeeper, I'm just going to keep the peace, I don't want any trouble, I guarantee you, trouble will still find you. You think just because you always are passive and quiet and you don't do anything that will bother people, and you just say to yourself, well, I'll just, no. If the trouble will find you, peacekeeper or not, don't be a doormat. So yeah, no, and I'm definitely not getting up. If it was just like, a regular, like, go, like, I mean, maybe, but like, hell no, I don't want to smell that. It's not my kid. Not the asshole. Your sister-in-law only felt bad because you obviously pointed out to her. You said no when she asked and then pressed you further, either trying to guilt you to changing the diaper or make you look bad because you didn't want to change a poopy diaper. Exactly. She knew what she was doing. Let's see. How's it? Okay. Here's, okay, I can, usually on Reddit mobile, there's like a little skip button. You can skip right down to the bottom. Oh. Let's see. Not the asshole. The parents were there and capable of changing the diaper. That is a responsibility. Anyone else, it is a kind gesture. I would set the exact same boundary. Let's see. Not the asshole. But then, why didn't your wife step in and offer? Ooh, that's true. Why didn't your wife step in and offer to change the diaper? That's right, because she doesn't want to do it either. You have a massive wife problem. She needs to shut this down with her family, not encourage it. Okay, I don't know about a massive wife problem. Let's back up here. We've got this tiny little microscopic view into this person's family. I wouldn't say this is a massive wife problem. I think that's Reddit being Reddit. This is not a massive wife problem. That's weird to say. Is that not weird to say? Like, all right, let's not go hunting the wife just yet. We got the tiniest little sliver of a look into this person's life, and Reddit was just already like, your wife is the problem. All right, yeah, she's the one who has the problem. Let's not witch hunt here. All right, last one. And then I'm gonna look at the controversial comments. Not the asshole, making sure the baby doesn't come to harm. I say rolling off a couch is the responsibility of any adult who sees the issue. Basic hygiene and feeding needs are the problem of the parent. If someone volunteers, then well and good. Otherwise, no, that is a fair boundary. Absolutely. That's pretty much, that's pretty much what I would have said. Like, supervision does, like, pretty much fall to the parents. But if anybody else is around and then the baby, like, falls and hurts itself, it's like, well, yeah, I should have been watching my kid, but like also you were there and had eyes. I wish you would have just like glanced over or something. Like that's that thing. But like changing a poopy diaper and the parents are there, nah. I would have done the same thing. Nope, it's not me. Not the asshole that put you at risk of all kinds of accusations. What? I don't think you're the asshole. I would change my sister and baby-in-law's diapers, but that's how our relationship is. Nothing wrong with you setting a boundary, but not just, even just not doing it because you don't want to. Sounds kind of odd to ask an uncle to change a baby's diaper anyway, but it's okay for the aunt to do it. Jesus, I don't think that's what he was saying. That's a very Twitter thing to say. Oh, you don't like waffles, so you like pancakes. Oh, you don't like waffles, so you hate pancakes, or you know what I mean. Let's see. Let's see if we can find anybody who actually thinks, yuck, sorry, no, just yuck. I'm not a bio parent, but if I were, I would never try to outsource that nasty job to someone who didn't volunteer and hadn't agreed to babysit. If I were in the middle of cooking, I might ask somebody to keep an eye on the stove while I handle the diaper duty. Then, if that person volunteered to change the baby instead so that I could keep cooking, I'd be eternally grateful. But sister-in-law was wildly inappropriate to ask OP, much less try to shame him for declining. And if wife is so gung-ho about helping with the diaper duty, why didn't she volunteer? Not the asshole. Absolutely. Fucking A. Seems like she was genuinely hurt. Include you? Oh, let's fucking read this. She seems like she was genuinely hurt. Do you think she was trying to include you? Like, does she ask you to do fun things as well as or only shitty things? I'm only asking because you said she looked ready to cry, not like in a huff of entitlement. I totally get that you don't do poop diapers. Oh, and not the asshole either. I'm just wondering if she's not being entitled or lazy. She just may be one of those people who's trying to be inclusive and doesn't have a clue. Points to you for being very honest and not shaming her. I'm glad you stated your boundary in a way that she could understand. Maybe you'll be better. Maybe she will be better, but who can tell? Let us know. I'd be interested to know if she's respecting your boundary. First of all, this is not really an update kind of story. Second of all, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking? You don't include somebody by asking you to change your child's poopy diaper. That's fucking, what the hell kind of inclusivity is that? If this is what it takes for true equality, leave me out of that. Leave me in like 99% equality. What the fuck are you talking about? Can you change the baby's diaper? No, bitch, fuck you. Like, you guys are both right there. Why don't you get up and do it? You're the one who signed up for this by having kids. So get up and do your job. You are literally in the preliminaries. You have not even heard the fire to go yet. You are not even jumping hurdles yet, okay? You are at the preliminaries. You are in for a lifetime of dealing with your child, your kid, your adult whenever they grow up. This is a lifetime gig. You better start getting the fuck up now, okay? You better get used to it. Not the asshole. This speaks loudly as a mother. Is her partner stepping up? Is sister-in-law always a caretaker with no breaks? This may be something to discuss with whoever is closest to her. Let's see if we can get some heinous replies. Comment deleted by user. Damn, okay. They okay, everyone sucks here? What the fuck are you? You don't have to change the diaper, but you also don't have to make things awkward. You can reject things graciously. Who gives a fuck about making things awkward? You know what happens? Awkward disappears. Your boundaries being trampled over lasts a long time, because every time people start trampling over your boundaries, they will keep trying to do that until you have fully established to them that you're the kind of person who will stand up for themselves every single time. Somebody feeling kind of awkward about you saying, oh no, and then no. Fucking everyone sucks here is stupid. They tried to, then sister-in-law tried to guilt trip them with the what you don't change diapers thing. You can ask for help, but if someone says no, you move on. What would you have said instead? Sister-in-law's being entitled, da-da-da-da. No man should be changing a diaper of any child that is not his for his own safety in today's day of oh, I thought they were being shitty. Okay, why would he or the wife want to put him in that position? Sorry to point out the very high risk of accusation to be possible. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still don't know if this is the time or the place. But anyway, moving on from that one, I already got the ick. All right. What the fuck is with the shit stories? This is the second one in a row. 10 minutes ago. Okay, so this one hasn't been judged on at all. 2 comments. Let's see. Am I the asshole? A man tried to defecate in my trash can at work, and I still feel bad about it. Old man. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. Huh. Okay, so it's gotten comments and random ordering. Yo, it's got removed and locked instantly. Wow. So I'm guessing he couldn't use the bathroom, and so he wanted to use the trash can because maybe he had IBS or something. Um, but everybody said you're the asshole. You're the asshole. I'm sorry, but you're acting like an obviously bad guy from the Darman videos who gets a life lesson in the end. You're the asshole, but he was already humiliated. Why did you have to be rude and mean about it? Nothing like kicking someone when they were down. What happened? You're the asshole. Karma's gonna bite you some years later when you're that old guy. Then you will truly answer for your own question. Also, if you gave him permission to go do it, why did you give him crap about it afterwards? Come on, man. When we do actually help one, when do we actually help another one out in these shitty situations versus not wanting to deal with it? Obviously, no one wants this, but here we are. I'm guessing he had some sort of issue. OP has offered the following us. Okay, I believe in the asshole for confronting the old man in front of his wife about the accident, for not offering more assistance to him in the moment, and in general being unhelpful. Well, you answered your own question, bro. If you thought you were an asshole, I feel like you already knew. Okay, so far the themes we've gotten here, and this is not like, this is best. So far we're getting sisters-in-law, shit, and kids. That is the theme so far. Gotta say, I'm not thrilled about that. Okay, wow, that one's gross. Insisting on being paid the amount. Oh, wedding. Wedding is always an interesting one. Okay. Am I the asshole for insisting on being paid the remaining amount for a wedding we manage, even though the client, a family friend, says he's short on cash? So far, it's just from the title, if you're old, you're old. I don't really know if that has anything to do with whether or not he's short on cash. Like, weddings, that is, you have got to save. You have got to save, and you have got to manage your money. If you can't afford the wedding that you're throwing, either you need to downsize or you need to save a little longer, because a wedding is not a necessary thing. Like, you can go to the courthouse, and in some places, just signing the marriage certificate in like any like notary place or whatever will constitute being married. So, because one Reddit story was like, these people went to the UPS store and they were going to send off their certificate or something. The moment they signed it, they were legally married. So, like, you don't have to have a wedding. Let's just be honest. You don't have to, or you can always throw a small family thing. But if you are gonna, I don't know, unless something happened, that's kind of on you. But that's just from the title. Let's see. So I, 36 female, run an event management. You know what I've never seen in any of these Reddit stories? I've never seen someone go, 40, non-binary, or like, I've always seen like female and male, or female or male, but I don't think I've ever seen like, age, like non-binary or something, or GQ for genderqueer or whatever. But that's not here nor there. I just never seen it. All right, so I, 36 female, run an event management company. And last November, we managed the wedding of a client who also happens to be a good friend of my husband. Let's call him R. Wow, just no like name, just okay, R. All right. When R approached us, he was very clear that he had a limited budget. Because of the personal connection and my husband's involvement, I agreed to take on the event at a very minimal cost, basically just enough to cover expenses. We delivered everything RS asked for, even threw in a couple of extras from our side to elevate the experience. My entire team was involved, and we barely broke even. It wasn't a profitable job, it was a favor, plain and simple. Now here's the issue. It's been over 5 months and R still hasn't paid the full amount. There's a pending balance of 70,000 rupees? Maybe? Is that what that is? Yep, rupees. Which is circa $850. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. Every time we follow up, he says he's short on cash. And I say, because my husband has also been following up with him regularly, trying to keep things friendly. We've both been extremely patient and understanding because of the personal history, but it's starting to feel like we're being taken advantage of. While there's no flashy social media display or bragging going on, we do know that he's still spending freely in other areas. It's just clear he isn't paying us isn't a priority, even after everything we did to accommodate his situation. I'm now at the point where I want to pursue the payment more assertively, even if it means things get uncomfortable. So, am I the asshole for wanting to draw a hard line and formally chase down this long overdue payment, even though we originally took this job as a personal favor? I don't know about this one. Because when you take on something as a favor, you are you are sure, you are at least saying, I understand I won't be getting paid for this. I understand that this is something that I'm taking on at my own risk and at my own cost. So I don't feel like it's right to I don't feel like it's really right to say, okay, this is a favor, and then turn around and then charge him. Let me reread this to say we deliver everything he asked for, at very minimal cost. Basically, okay, so because of personal connection and my husband's involvement, I agreed to take on the event at a very minimal cost. Okay, so it was a favor, but it was still a cost. Basically, just enough to cover expenses. We delivered everything R asked for and even threw in a couple of extras from our side to elevate the experience. Okay, the extras, I hope you're not trying to charge him for that. So if I were to comment on this thread, I would say, info, did you charge him for the extras? Because that is not on him if you decided to do that for free. My entire team was involved and we barely broke even. It wasn't a profitable job, it was a favor, plain and simple. Now here's the issue. It's been over 5 months and Arcel hasn't paid the full amount. There's a pending balance around $850, and when we follow up, he says, okay, it's starting, okay, from what that says, you really only broke even. You took it on a minimal cost, like you said, just to cover expenses, and he hasn't paid you that. To me, without any further details, if it really is this cut and dry, not the asshole. You did him a favor. As long as you are, like you said, only enough to cover expenses. So if you are truly only charging him enough to cover the expenses, and you are not charging him for the extras you threw in, then yeah, he's the asshole. Okay, so you took the job. Okay, so here's one. You took the job as a favor, but not as a gift. You agreed to do it at a reduced rate, but you didn't agree to do it unpaid. Not the asshole. It's time for your husband to reach out to his friend and say, this is really uncomfortable. If you don't remit the payment in full by insert date here, we're going to assume you've decided not to pay us. If you do that, then we're going to leverage the fact that you and I are friends, to make sure our mutual friends know you leverage our leverage our friendship to bargain us down to work for you for no profit, and then decided to steal our agreed upon payment. This is in addition to whatever legal contract enforcement applies. You got a good rate by using our friendship. That was because I liked you. It was also because I thought it was unlikely you wanted all your friends to know that you lie and steal from your friends. Please show me I wasn't wrong about that. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, dead ass. That's a good breakdown. Like, yeah, as a favor, but not as a gift. If they specified that this was a favor and they specified, hey, you will be having to pay us back for our labor, our work costs, and just pretty much everything, and just no profit, pretty much netting them like barely breaking even. They sounds like they almost damn near took a loss on that, especially with the freely given extras. It really sounds like they damn near took a loss. So, which again, nobody asked them to do, but still, that's pretty rough. And not even getting the 850, fucking 850. I mean, I'm not saying that $850 is nothing, obviously, and I know in India that would be different than it would probably be in America, but still, I feel like, brother, you got a whole fucking shebang. They did your whole planning and everything, right? Like it says, event management company. They managed the wedding. They managed your wedding for $850. Yeah, no, bro needs to run you your money. I don't know like how the law works over there in India, but small claims court. or whatever the equivalent is. But you could probably just like leverage your friendship and be like, you got guys, old boy is old boy is gonna try and wring you dry too in the future, right? And they're like, what are you talking about? Well, and you just tell them what happened. Not the asshole, you run a business, not a charity. And then they know he's spending freely. Oh yeah, spending freely in other areas, so he's doing other stuff. Nah, I'd be like, well, you're over there eating good. Where's my money? You might have to go Tony Soprano on him. Send Furio in that stupid fucking game. Give me the money. Send a final invoice with a note saying the account will be sent to collections if payment is not received in full in 30 days, not the asshole. Let's see if there's any controversial comments. Because I always like to see both sides of the spectrum, because am I the asshole can be very polarizing, surprisingly. Even when things seem pretty clear and dry, you'd be surprised. Why would you even do the job if you knew he didn't have any money in the first place? Not the asshole, but your husband is a moron, and you need to place a lien on this guy. All right, bro. All right. Wow. Wish my limited budget was $70,000 plus whatever was already paid. Haha. Yes, $850. Crazy how limited the budget was. Info. Do you have a signed agreement contract? Yeah, that's important, because if it was all word of mouth only, I get wanting to do word of mouth when it's your friends and you trust them, but with something like a wedding, I don't think you should do anything like a wedding word of mouth and honor system. You pretty much need to do, if it's anything bigger than, like, I say $200, you need maybe $500. If it's anything bigger than $500, you need some sort of written contract or agreement, I think. Not the, okay, so it's pretty early on, but I think this is pretty. I think it's gonna be ruled not the asshole, and I don't think they should be the asshole. They were doing a friend. They were doing a friend a favor. It's not their fault. Their friend was shitty. Let's see. Am I the asshole for not making my childhood best friend my best man because he slept with my ex right after we broke up? No, I don't think so. Am I the asshole for correctly guessing my friend's baby sex? Huh? What? I almost want to know just what the fuck. What is weird? I gotta know. I'm so curious. I'm gonna go back and read the other one, but I'm so curious. What the fuck are you talking about? Am I the asshole for correctly guessing my friend's baby sex? All right. On the weekend, my wife, 38 female, and I, 39 male, went to our friend's gender reveal for background information. On the weekend, okay. For background information, our friend already has 2 boys. She told my wife that she's hoping for a girl this time. In the car in the car on the way there, my wife asked me what gender I thought the baby would be. I said, given that the sex ratio at birth is about 105 boys for every 100 girls, my guess is that this child will be a boy. My wife said, given our friend already has 2 boys already, there would be more of a chance for a girl this time. I replied, 2 boys are not relevant to the sex of the child our friends were expecting, and that was still a 51% chance this child would be a boy. At the gender reveal, it was announced this baby would be a boy. Also, although our friend tried to appear happy at the party, it was clear she was disappointed that this child would not be a girl. Oh, that's so weird, man. My wife also appeared to be disappointed as well. On the drive back home, my wife got angry with me, said I could have been more supportive and that I shouldn't have been so mathematical with my guess about the baby's sex. Edited to add, could have been supportive, referred to my guess that the child would be a boy and my reasoning for that guess. I told her that my response was perfectly reasonable to the question she asked me. She didn't like that and stayed quiet for the rest of the drive home. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Okay, hi Hammer. This is weird. This is so fucking weird. So you're mad at him because he guessed right? Is a 50-50 shot. There's only, well, not only, but there's typically 2 sets of genitalia. Okay, because that's what we're talking about. Like, because we're talking about sex, right? So there's only 2 sets. Okay, so you could either have this set or you could have that set. You could either look like this or you could look like that. That's pretty much it. he just happened to be right. He was just like, yo, like, based on like birth rates and wherever the fuck we are, it's likely gonna be a boy. Why is she mad? It's like, did she think that he put hoodoo on the baby? Did she think that he magically changed the baby's sex in the woman's womb with his statistical magic? Yeah, fucking curse of Ra, you have a boy. Like, could have been more supportive. Yeah, you could have like not cited statistics to me, because your citing of statistics, okay, census taker, the fucking census magic, you made my friend's child a boy. Like, I don't know, I've never been pregnant. So I don't know how I would feel about like what I want. It's easy to say, you know, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. I don't know how I would feel. Whoa, curse of male be upon ye. Like, I feel like it's, I don't know, like there's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with inherently, because let's just be honest, being a parent, the reasons for being a parent is still kind of inherently a selfish thing. You can be a selfless parent, but wanting a child, I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wanting things, wanting anything is inherently selfish. There's nothing wrong with that. And then like people who say, well, I'm healing, so I want to give all of my love to something. That is you wanting to heal through an experience, which is still, I think, inherently a and when I say selfish, I don't mean like in a bad negative way. I don't think selfish has to be always a bad thing. I fucking love how they name themselves "Am the Asshole Baby Sex Guest." You probably shouldn't have named yourself that. I'm gonna really be honest with you, because only in this context, brother, you better abandon this account after this, because you don't want this popping up in any other threads. Like, yes, you put "Am I the Asshole" there, but it's so no. Okay, so yeah, no, you didn't fucking curse of male your friend's your girlfriend's friend. No, that's not your fault. Let's see. Okay, it didn't really say that you did. Let's see. Didn't really say he did anything. How is that not being supportive? He didn't say he did anything there. When your wife said you could have been more supportive, did she mean supportive of her and her guessing game, or supportive of the mom who was disappointed in her child's chromosomes? Either way, not the asshole. You answered the question you were asked in a normal way. Edit. You were effectively asked if you think coin flip will land on heads or tails, and answered that statistically it was slightly more to land on heads. Your wife said because it had been heads twice before, it would have a higher heads chance now, and you confirmed it doesn't work that way. Yeah. Oh, and having two boys would very slightly increase the chances their next child is also a boy, since there are some genetic factors that can lead to some people having more boys and some more girls, and them having two boys already slightly increases the chances they'll have more boys in the more boys group. But realistically, the conditional change in probability only after two boys isn't meaningful. I know some people who have like 4 boys, or other way around, like 4 girls, and then like the 5th child is a boy. If you have boy, I feel like the chances for you to have 2 more boys if you keep trying are very high. I don't know too many people who have 2 boys and a girl, and it's boy, then girl. It would be probably boy, girl, or boy, girl, boy. But usually people who have 2 boys in a row, third one's gonna be a boy. 2 girls in a row, third one's gonna be a girl. I know a decent amount of people with kids, and the ones who do have multiple kids have like, they'll either go for 4 or they'll go for 5. If they go for 4, it's boy. If they go for 5, it's boy, girl, or vice versa. As long as there are 2 options, it's always a 50-50, because the outcomes will always be male or not a male 5 head. You want me a 5 head? You can't see my forehead. Not really. I have 4 other older sisters. This is fair and accurate. Good observation, Keeker. I have a lot of friends with kids, and as you realize, when you have friends with kids, it is almost impossible to make plans with them. Next to impossible, because I don't think I know one friend with one kid. Everybody else has 3 and 4 and even 5 children. It is crazy. And like I said, boy, 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 girl, or girl, 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 boy. I ain't planning on getting the kid disease. Shit's terminal. You know what? I heard breathing air is also terminal. Sitting down, 100% death rate, you know? Fatality rate through the fucking roof. In fact, I think we should all stop breathing, sitting, eating, all that. 100% of people who have lived have died. Ah, shit, I know. The only answer is to become undead. Isn't that right, Meatsy? My older brother's a boy. I was born a girl. And then my 4 younger half siblings are all male. I found it funny that all 6 of my kids my mom had, and 5, out of all 6 kids my mom had, 5 were born male. Shit. Yeah, bony. I love when it's like, okay, yeah, I'm, my parents had this, this, and this, and they're like, oh, finally we have a girl, and it's like, it's trans. And like, now it's like, all right, you have no girls. Not the asshole, you answered the damn question you were asked. Your wife wanted you to participate in magical thinking. Yo, she wanted you to participate in magical thinking or some shit. And not give an honest answer. You gave a factual answer and didn't announce it at the party or rain on anyone's parade. You simply answer your wife's question with your genuine thought process. Your prediction didn't cause the baby's sex, for fuck's sake, and just acknowledge reality. The problem isn't mathematics. It's the problem that people sometimes want more comfort more than truth. This isn't on you. It's just misdirected emotion. It really feels like she's blaming OP's kid for being OP for the kid being a boy, like his prediction somehow made it happen. Magical thinking is the right phrase for this. So, okay. She thinks OP manifested the child's genitals. OP should start selling their services for real. No, yo, you don't have to pay for gender reassignment anymore. You just need OP to put his fucking magical thinking on you. Just, curse of male be upon ye. And instantly gender dysphoria cured. Yo, how much he charging? Yo, how much is he charging? Like, I'd pay up, because whatever he's charging, it'll be less than whatever America is gonna charge. So yeah. Fuck insurance, by the way. Okay, so I think most people are gonna share this sentiment. I want to see if there are any controversial comments. Deeker. What have I subscribed to? Oh yeah, dragons are cool. Yeah, I haven't subscribed to much on my Reddit account. I really don't even use this Reddit account. Okay. I want to see if there are any controversial comments. Let's see what we got. It would be really hard to disagree with something like this, but Reddit is wife, not girlfriend. Your wife is an actual moron. All right, let's not use this as an opportunity to be sexist. Am I correct in predicting your wife is a product of the American? All right, bro, chill out. Not the asshole. Your wife is an idiot. Jesus Christ. And doesn't understand probability. Yes, it's unlikely to have 3 boys in a row, but if you already have 2 boys, that has no impact on the chance of the next baby being a boy. Could honestly be the dad. Thinking about it, sperm might be influencing it based off the proportion of X and Y bearing sperm. So, what? It could be in his DNA to statistically, foster more baby boys? Or more, like, more male sex children or whatever. I don't know. People aren't being fair. I mean, the wife, yeah, but again, this is like the last story, or the story before that, rather. This is such a tiny, minuscule, whittle, piss poor look into the life of 2 people, and to say your wife's an idiot, like, okay, bro. All right, chill out, because you are jumping 15, like, yeah, okay, she was emotional about something. Being emotional about something, if she's genuinely treating him horribly, that's one thing. It doesn't say. She was just kind of giving him the cold shoulder. And a lot of people think that, women so emotional. You know what? A lot of women don't know how to regulate their emotions. A lot of women don't know how to properly handle their emotions. And so they either get kind of prickly or they completely just draw into themselves. Hence the quiet treatment. But like being like, okay, sis, my wife got angry with me, said I could have been more supportive in that. I should have been so mathematical with my guess about the baby sex. I don't think. What does he mean by getting angry? What happened is what I want to know. Like if she generally started yelling at him and flying off the handle and throwing a fucking tantrum in the car, then yeah. But like angry could be like, man, what the fuck? And then just getting quiet. Like, okay, what does being angry mean to you? Let her stay quiet. She doesn't know what math is, so she tried to be emotional. Her staying quiet is good for, like, see, Reddit jumps at any opportunity to be sexist. Kind of, yeah, normally men produce 50-50 odds of X and Y sperm on average. Some dudes could produce more Y, leading to more baby boy, or more X, leading to more baby girl. The girls! I have a friend who can do a really good Gru impression, like, freaky good. The girls! Okay, so I learned something today. Does it also work that way for females? Do females also have that? Like the odds of, having more boys or more girls in them, You can tell I'm not Bill Nye the Science Guy, obviously. We're responsible for your wife. Not that this is a man versus woman thing, or maybe it is, but as a woman and a scientist, my brain works just like yours. Most women I know are analytical like this too. Yeah, a lot of women are really analytical. It seems your wife. That's where the women be so emotional. Men are analytical and logical. Bro, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Most wars not started by women. Like, all right, men. Okay, I was just telling my coworker about this today. People say women are so emotional, and then they go on to like listen to these angry men who fly off the handle as soon as anyone says something they don't like. Anger is an emotion. Can we all get this? Like, can we all get this together? Anger is an emotion. If you are always getting angry, yes, you are emotional. Somehow people got into their heads that being angry, getting upset, flying off the handle is somehow not being emotional. Yes, it is. If you're always getting angry, you are always emotional. It is an emotion. Just because you're not going through a range of emotions, and you probably are, because most people, even angry people, don't go straight to anger. Some people go like, okay, a little upset, annoyed, then you may feel, you feel that righteous indignation, it's boiling up inside of you, and then anger. That is emotions. You have gone through a range of emotions. That is emotional. Where did this idea come from that being angry and being masculine is like a cool thing, and being like, sad is a feminine thing? Y'all are some fucking weirdos. Nope, all women eggs are XX eggs. Males kind of determine the gender. Oh, okay. I mean, probably at some point I knew that in my life, but I'm gonna be honest with you, anything I learned in school, probably forgotten, gone. Rare cases though, like Turner syndrome or Klinefelter syndrome, really rare stuff though. Interesting. Every day you learn something. I didn't expect a science lesson on today, but every day's a school day. Tell your wife to grow. I saw a comment that was actually interesting. Your wife is not an idiot. No, who fucking downvoted that guy? That's fucking weird to say. There was a comment that I saw. Oh, here it is. Translation. Translation, your wife wants to have a daughter, and hearing you speak so analytically about gender and being right threatens her envisioned future of having a girl. You might not be wrong, but you're an asshole for saying it like that. Sorry, Lowell was just yapping for the moment. I don't mind you yapping. I don't mind that yapping at all. I find it interesting because the most I remember about genetics is like the Punnett square thing and I barely remember that. Though speaking of genetics, actually, I don't know if it was today or maybe it was yesterday. I really genuinely can't remember. Um, this one seems kind of juicy. Astarian is my girlfriend. Oh my gosh, is this somebody I know with this fucking username that is so 31? Probably not. Let me see. What is the one that making my childhood best friend? Okay, I'm gonna read this one and then I'm gonna go to this one. Um, but I want to say, speaking of genetics, I was reading a Twitter thread earlier where people were speculating again, for some reason this is coming back around, on Clementine's race, and Clementine from the Walking Dead games. And I say it's so crazy how people around the world really generally don't know how black genetics can work, because black genetics are absolutely batshit. Black genetics can just do whatever the fuck they want to. You can have people who are black to black to black to black to black, but like a great 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 granddad was white, and that can just manifest generations later. It's insane. But like, people, okay, so you find a picture of Clementine's parents in the game. You see her dad's clearly a black guy. You see her mom is light skinned of some kind. People were like, I think Clementine's Asian. What the fuck are you? What are you talking about? I think she's half white. Did you not see her mom's hair? Her mom. Did you hear her mom's voice? Like, okay, let's be so fucking for real. It's really so difficult to love on like a little genetics, while complex, aren't that complex. Hello, I don't. People wanted to. I'm gonna be honest, and that was, I like, years ago. It was one of the Walking Dead forums. I don't know if that one, exact one, is still up, but I remember looking up something about Clementine, and I found like what race is coming. This was back when Walking Dead season 1 was the only Walking Dead game out. And people were speculating on her race, and nobody, when I say I clicked on maybe 30 pages before the forum was just done, like that was all on that thread. I clicked through like 30 pages. I read every single comment, and no person, not one person, floated the idea that Clementine was completely black and just had a light-skinned mom. Now, you can say, well, if her mom is light-skinned, doesn't that make she's half white? No. Her parents could have been light-skinned. One of her parents could have been light-skinned. Or neither one of her parents could have been light-skinned, and maybe her grandmother is light-skinned, and she just got it from her. Well, doesn't that mean her grandmother? Nope. Light-skinned, being light-skinned can be your great, 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 great granddad could have been white. And if light-skinned people just keep getting with light-skinned people, or their light-skinnedness just happens to pass down each time. Yes, several generations of light skin can be passed down, completely diluting the white to the point where it's barely a percentage. So yeah, at some point, somewhere in Clementine's line is a white man, I'm sure. That doesn't mean she's half white. That doesn't mean she's a quarter white. That doesn't mean she's a fourth white, and it doesn't mean she's an eighth or a 16th white. Her great it could have dated back to slavery. You don't know if light skinned people keep getting with light skinned people, because I know several people personally who know they are light skinned and they do not have a white parent. They are just, and then sometimes if you have multiple kids, one of them will be light skinned. And if that kid happens to get with someone light skinned or not, they could just pass it on. It's a fucking toss up. But I know people who are several generations removed from any white relatives. They're just all light skinned. It just passes down. I've never watched The Walking Dead or played any of the games, so this is interesting. Considering the unfortunate historical occurrences, there's definitely a chance that it would really several generations back, nearly insignificant amounts. Here, let me look up, oh shit, my keyboard was off. Clementine, Walking Dead, Walking Dead, Season 1. She was very light in this game. So this is Clementine. My Will Quim, my baby. She's such a sweet baby. Okay, so yeah, this is Clementine. she has light skin. She has a wider nose than I would say is completely Eurocentric. I wouldn't say it's a super Eurocentric nose. She has maybe medium-sized lips. They're not super thin. She is overall kind of ethnically ambiguous if you just go with her face. But this at no point to me, at no point did I ever, me being a black person, I instantly knew, and this is her grown up. I don't know how old she is in the other games. Brown eyes. Now, I will say because of the undertones being kind of pink instead of just straight like yellow, I feel like she does kind of give off white passing at some points. But me being a black person who just knows how light skin works, no point did I ever think like this here. This is pretty art, but I would honestly, if you told me, I would honestly believe like this isn't even kinky curly hair. This just kind of looks like a white child to me. I at no point ever thought that Clementine was especially in season 2. She looks a little bit tanner, a little bit darker in season 2. The art styles change up a lot between games. The comic book style gets a little more detailed with every iteration. Here she is. Here is season 4 models of Lee and Clementine. Okay, so season 4, I'm guessing this is from a flashback. So this is a season 4 model, but it's from like a flashback between Lee and Clementine. This is a visibly, and then here's another thing about children who are light skinned. They darken down a lot of times. Now, I can't say much for how she wound up kind of turning out. I really say it's a toss up between art style changing and sometimes, I mean, people lighten up and people darken down. So this to me looks like a visibly brown child here. I still would call her light skinned, but this is like, to me, the idea, and here, she looks pretty brownish throughout the entire game. This is the second game. So this is The Walking Dead Season 2. I don't want to get too technical with it, but the skin color is a polygenetic trait. There really do be odds of just having lighter skinned children. It's just kind of RNG. It really is. Black genetics are just crazy. They're just kind of crazy. Now, this looks like a little bit more like the Clementine we saw in the game. But yeah, Clem is just a light-skinned child. This is not her hair is a pretty ethnic hair. It is visibly like a 4B hair type, which is where it gets kinky, but it doesn't corkscrew. My hair type is a 4B hair type, where it kind of almost looks like it will curl around itself, but it goes on like this S pattern and then it stops. Which is, I think, why my hair is taking so long to lock. But yeah, no, anyway, sorry, tangent there. But just this idea that there's no possible way. Not one person in that entire forum was even like party to the idea that this child could just be fully black and have a light-skinned mom and just happen to get the light-skinnedness from her mom. Shit happens all the time. Dark-skinned dad, light-skinned mom passes it down to the kid, or vice versa. Or like a mid-tone person and a light-skinned person, and the baby just happens to come out light. I know 2 light-skinned people who had a child lighter than them. 2 light-skinned people who are still visibly black had a child that, to me, honestly, you look at that child, they looked pretty much straight white. But then the plot thickens because light-skinned children do darken down. Light skin does not always stay completely light. Light skin, and I know white people who have like some ethnic something in them, like maybe they have Mexican in them, some type of Latino or something in them, that in the summertime their tan really comes along and they really genuinely look like a different person. And then when in the wintertime they lighten up just like black people do and they look different again. I lighten up in the winter, I darken down in the summer. It happens. And if you look, so here's a little shorthand that Black people use. If you have a child that is light skinned when they're born, look at the tops of their ears. They will turn the color of the tops of their ears. If the tops of their ears are exactly the same color as their skin, they will remain light skinned. But even so, the lightest fucking people after years of sun will also darken down. So a person who is bright, light skinned, but still Black, in their 50s may be kind of mid-toned. Shit just, it's fucky. And yeah, they would get darker over time. There's a genetic baseline for the amount of melanin produced, and they could have melanocytes that could increase the melanin production under certain triggers. Yep. I love genetics. I can only ever speak for Black genetics, but I think genetics are super interesting. I have only ever, dabbled in it when I was in school and legally mandated to. And then of course just knowing, Black, but it's so crazy how for me, it's the most normal thing, but you forget there's a whole world out there that just doesn't know how your genetics works. White people, oh, it's got the whole list, it's got the whole book, everybody, yeah, okay, sure. But for Black people, it's like, whoa, what an anomaly. This one isn't dark as night. They must be half white. No, that's not how that works. Just because a Black person is lighter than just because a Black person is lighter than midnight, that doesn't mean that they're half white. Yeah, I'm sure most statistically Black Americans are gonna have some white somewhere in their line. If you ever want to know some weird biology shit, I got you. Hell yeah. I love knowing weird biology shit. I gotta think of some weird biology shit questions. Let me digress, cause shit. Am I the asshole for not making my childhood best friend my best man because he slept with my ex right after we broke up? No. Next question. No. You don't ever have to, people talk about forgive and forget. You don't ever have to forgive somebody, nor do you ever have to forget what they did. That something that somebody could do to you, you can hold on to that. There is no time limit on how long you can hold on to something. Now, is it petty to hold on to something small for years? Yes. But something like slept with my ex right after we broke up, that's just code, man. Sorry, definitely fell into the tangent myself. Now, I love talking about at least Black genetics on that side because I love just telling people, I don't want to say educating, that sounds so pretentious, but I like telling people, and the VOD will be up, so anybody who watches this who didn't know, free information. Hi, future. I just like telling people this because one less person in the world thinking that, this child is a mid-tone, so therefore, or this child is light-skinned, or we call it red bone, therefore they have to have a white parent. Not true. And then obviously when people draw a lot of characters, they tend to lighten them up. They tend to give them more Eurocentric features because to them, it is just not possible that this person is ethnic at all, that it is completely impossible that this person... I don't even get me started on the amount of characters in games that if they are Black, they have to be Black and something, or also have blue eyes or something. It's like, you don't have to spoon feed diversity to people. If they are going to not like the character because they are too ethnic for them, the character was never meant for them, and they need to go on and have their Diet Coke and have their salad and eat all of their very bland food, okay? If you cannot handle the slightest bit of spice, you need to stay out of the kitchen. If you have to make every character who has dark skin, blue-eyed, with Eurocentric hair, I need you to come out of the kitchen because you're onto nothing. You are not cooking. You are not cleaning. You need to leave the premises. Okay? If you have to spoon feed diversity to people because you're worried that it is not going to go over well, I don't want you making anything that you think should be for me. I need you to let me just handle that. People say all the time, well, if you want it, then you should do it. And then when people go and do their own thing, you want to attack them on Twitter. Curious how Corey Kenshin got so much hate about his manga. You tell us all the time, hey, if you don't like the way that, we portray Black people, let's not even get started on that. Then you need to do your own thing. And then we say, okay, bet. And then we do our own thing. And then you also have a problem with that? Bitch, it was never about what you said it was about, okay? It was never about that. It was clearly about the fact that you can't stand that this is not about you. You're so used to everything being about you that when something isn't, my not being the main character senses are tingling. Why'd I turn into Mickey Mouse? I am a light with Disney levels of outrage. All right, I'm sorry. My biggest fear is not using the right color because of my color blindness and accidentally color someone a completely wrong color. You could always ask. And I'm sure there are programs that probably kind of help you figure out what that color is. Or accessibility features or something or some external program you could run your art through. Or you could always just ask me, I'll be, hey, Kiki, is this person brown? Nah, bro, that person's green. Not at all. No, that's straight up a comic book character, my guy. That's Mantis. That's Drax. Comic book Drax. I don't know why they made MCU Drax gray. I guess they wanted him to stand out from the other aliens, but gray? It kind of works, but it was an odd choice. I would have thought the green would have been a little bit more striking, but I guess Mantis wears a lot of green. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Hey, so this may be a lot, but reds and browns look similar to me. Might accidentally make someone red. I would rather be made red than be made white, though. If you accidentally made me red, I would still be honored that you were trying, as opposed to just completely whitewashing me on purpose. If you accidentally whitewash me, or you whitewash me because of my disability, your disability, that's one thing. If you did it on purpose, I would like, all right, buddy, all right, I appreciate the art, but what's going on? What's really going on? What's really happening? Let's talk about it. So I will probably take that into account as I get like more fan art and stuff. Just if people, do happen to kind of wipe my ethnic features, because there's a reason why I want this nose. I want it to be unambiguously clear, even if somebody saw me and was just like, well, maybe. No. I want it to be unambiguously clear. I'm black. Please do not give me the teeny tiny anime nose if you can help. Unless this is a really simple drawing, that's fine. But if you're drawing me like in detail and you give me like the really simple or a Eurocentric nose, not really a fan of that. Not really a fan of that. I would prefer to be depicted in the way that I am. I would almost prefer you to depict me without the iconic arm than to whitewash me. Actually, I do completely prefer that. Because Kiki was once human. Before I forget, sir, posting your bones at that angle was insane. Yo, okay, so listen, I had the idea right when I got my model. I was like, I told my friend, I said, as soon as I get my model, the first thing I'm gonna make is like a meme where it's like, I showed you my bones, please respond. Freaky Dicky indeed, listen. I had the idea for ages, and then I made the meme, but I only shared it around like my at that point it was a very small group of friends, and I completely forgot that I had it. And so one day I was scrolling on my phone for like things to post to Twitter, because I was like, okay, gotta keep my account active and stuff, gotta, even if I'm not streaming, I need to post a little bit. That's what other streamers do. They always keep posting even if they're off that day. And then I was just like, oh shit. There is some art that I made some kind of sort of racy-ish art of Kiki. When that little like draw your character in this, and it was like a little cropped hoodie and like a little bikini bottom. Bikini Bottom. Yo, shout out to Bikini Bottom. When that was going around, I wound up drawing Kiki in that, and that was way before I got my model. I shared it with my little tiny friend group, and I never showed it to another soul, and I still don't know if I want to post that. Just because I never know if I want to set the precedent that I'm okay with like NSFW art or like kind of racy art, because I still don't really know how I would feel about that. I opened Twitter one time just to mindlessly browse a bit, and I'm greeted with that on the top of my page. It was very interesting to say the least. Let me show the people what you're talking about. Man, can't believe I'm being outed like this. Every time I see this guy, every time I see Klarnak at the top of my page, he's just like, tomboys. Let me open Twitter. Let me open my twitter.com. I will never call it X. Man, VTubers see that unwoke opinion thing and they run to it like a moth to a flame. You guys, remember, you are a brand. You need to remember what you say will stick around. Fucking behave yourself. This is what he was talking about, you guys. I showed you my bones. Please respond. Yo, the smirk goes crazy. Yo, my bad. I ain't mean to flashbang you like that. I showed you my bones. Please respond. What are people talking about? Oh, they retweeted my link. Yay. Oh, they didn't. Oh, they liked my link. Yay. Who the fuck? 2 bots? Of course it's 2 bots. Okay. I should have brought more water to drink. My throat is already dry. I had some pickle chips and they are very salty. I'm just trying to see stupid shit posts and I was greeted with, well, shit post to be fair. Exactly. Very much a shit post. Very much. And even that I was considering not posting, but I thought it was kind of funny. It's not usually my style, but I thought it was kind of funny. Let's see. So, summary, this person did not make their childhood best friend their best man because they slept with his ex. So, hey, so this may be a lot, but please, my tracking pause. Vignan, what's been going on? What's going on, Vignan? What's really happening? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the hell's going on with Vignan at all. What? All right, now I just have 2 instances of it open. No, this is... It'll fix itself in a moment. Let me just close it. Let's Control-Alt-Delete that baby. I don't know why Vignan has just been freezing. It has never been like this. And I thought it was my GPU and its temps. And it doesn't seem to be. I genuinely don't know what's causing Vignan to keep crashing on me. There we go. Weird. Reset. All right, there we go. Okay. Back to it. So, hey, so this may be a lot, but please bear through it and read it for me. So I'm about to be married soon, and this has been eating me alive because I got people telling me a lot of things as far as let it go, but it's not easy at all, especially for someone I thought to be trusted. This has been a long time coming, but now that the wedding is approaching, it's blown up in my face, so please read. I, 30 male, am getting married in a few months. Might have been best friends with Josh, 30 male, since we were 12. We've been through everything together. High school drama, college parties, family stuff. He's like a brother to me. About 3 years ago, I was dating Emily, now 29 female, for almost 2 years. It was serious, and we talked about moving in together. Then things fizzled, differences in goals, lots of arguments. Then the breakup was mutual, but hard. Not even a month after we split, I found Josh had hooked up with her. He didn't tell me. I heard it from another friend. When I confronted him, he admitted it, but said, we were never close. You guys had already broken up. Wait, did he say that the 2 guys were... Like, did he say he and OP were never close? OP stands for original poster, aka this guy, the person posting the story. Was he saying that he and OP were never close? Or was he saying that he and the girl were never close? It sounds like he and OP. In which case, what the fuck? We were never close. You guys had already broken up. I was stunned. I told him it was a massive betrayal, even if we were technically broken up. He apologized, but doubled down on the whole I didn't do anything wrong line. We didn't talk for months. Eventually, we started talking again, mostly because of mutual friends and time healing things, I guess. But it's never been the same. I kept it to surface level things like group footballs, fantasy football, group hangs, polite stuff. He clearly thought things were back to normal. Fast forward to now, I asked my other friend, the friend that told me about Josh and Emily hooking up, to be my best man. Josh seemed genuinely shocked and later texted me something like, "I thought I'd be standing beside you on your big day, Dick Bay." I thought I'd be standing beside you on Dick Bay, bro. Oh, Dick Bay, where the buffalo play. I thought I'd be standing beside you on your big day, bro. I responded and said, "You made a choice that permanently changed our friendship. I've moved on, but I haven't forgotten it." Fucking fair. That is so fair. Now he's telling people I'm being petty and holding a grudge over something from years ago. A few mutual friends and I are saying I should let it go, especially since I did forgive him and let him back into my life. But I never said we were fully good. I just chose to be civil. He thinks he deserves a place of honor in my wedding, but I honestly don't trust him like I used to. So, am I the asshole for not making my childhood best friend my best man because of something he did years ago, even though we technically reconciled? You didn't reconcile. When I think of reconciliation, I think of being mutually on good footing and having like complete closure. You did not get that. He never gave you closure, nor did he ever fess up, nor did he ever take responsibility. You, like you said, chose to be civil. Being civil and being made up and things going back to the way they were are two completely different things. And yeah, you were right to put it that way. He was expecting a place of honor. Best man is a honored title. That is a title for the closest person to you in your life. He thinks he deserves to be best man at your wedding. I wouldn't even want him near my wife. And that's not because I wouldn't trust my wife. If I were getting married to someone, I would have to trust them. It's not even that. It's that I wouldn't even want the idea. If he never apologized for this, clearly he seems to be under the impression that it's not wrong, that he's not wrong for what he did. And if he's still holding that mindset, he may see your current wife as fair game, or if she ever becomes your ex-wife, fair game. Isn't that bro code? Isn't that literally bro code? You don't hook up with somebody who is somebody's ex? That's shitty. That's shitty. There are so many people in the world. Like, yeah, I know that like guys don't have complete access to everybody like women will, you know, like when people say, "Oh, my husband suggested we open our relationship, but then I started getting laid more than him and now he wants to close it, or now he's yelling at me all the time." Yeah, you don't bet against the house. If you're betting against your woman and you're thinking that you will be getting more play than your wife, you're fucking stupid. Your wife will win every time. So it really sounds like he thought that what you can just, okay, let's see. 3 years ago. 3 years ago is still a pretty fresh amount of time. This was a serious relationship that he got out of that was sounds like a painful breakup, despite being mutual. A lot of differences. And that means that it wasn't like, oh, she cheated, or oh, this happened, oh, that happened. It sounded like they were just in two very different places, and unfortunately, they had to break up. That means that this guy could still very well be kind of in love, or at least have very strong feelings about this person. 3 years is not a lot of time to recover from something like that. No, you don't deserve to be in a place of honor, you fucking piece of shit. You slept with his ex as soon as that door was closed. He shouldn't trust you around his wife, and he absolutely not because he doesn't trust his wife, because he doesn't trust you. And no, someone he doesn't trust doesn't deserve to be the best man at his wedding. Go fuck yourself. If Josh didn't do anything wrong, why wasn't he the one who told you what happened? If Josh didn't do anything wrong, why did he hide it for so long? If Josh didn't do anything wrong, why didn't he say something before they hooked up? Bro code. If your friend is even interested in a girl, she's off limits unless otherwise specifically told otherwise. It's a code for a reason. Real bros don't mess with each other's emotional shit like that. Not the asshole. If Josh really thinks he didn't do anything wrong, maybe he should rethink what it means to be someone's friend. An apology doesn't change what he did, and doubling down during an apology means you're not really apologizing in the first place. Ditch the ding dong, my dude. I love the alliteration at the end. I don't really like this tone of she's off limits, she's not a thing. But like, I would say dating her should be considered off limits. I don't like the she's off limits terminology. But yeah, generally, yeah, I get that. Yeah, he's right. Bro code, that's fucked up. It's interesting to me how people in the wrong are always trying to recruit people to their side. Josh telling people you're being petty. Not only was he disrespectful for hooking up with your ex, he's now defaming your character. Not the asshole. Josh needs to grow up. Yeah, dating her would be, yeah, exactly. Not the asshole. Let's see if there's anybody who thinks, not only did Josh betray you in a breathtaking way, he didn't come clean about it until confronted, and then doubled down that he did nothing wrong, and then told you were never close. Oh, I fucking forgot about that part. Holy shit. He basically did everything to tell you were not best friends. The fact that you even let him back in for the sake of your social circle is astounding to me. He's looking to be invited to the wedding at all. True. You should uninvite Josh and the emotionally, morally bankrupt mutual friends who are on his side. Yeah, I agree to you, but to be fair, I think Josh lied a lot and gaslighted those emotionally bankrupt friends. OP should talk to them and clear everything up. They might not know everything. Did he lie to them though? I'm assuming the majority of them were friends from both when both events went down. And even if that's the case, they knew Josh slept with his ex of 2 years. There is not much else they would need to know. And even if they were not there and he did lie to them, who thinks it's their business who is selected best man? All valid points. All valid points. Honestly, if they're the kind of people who say that's totally okay, yeah, man, get you some. If they're just the get you some kind of people and there's no nuance to that, those kind of people shouldn't be in your life anyway. Those just get you some leads to bad paths, okay? Oh boy, people are not gonna like your take. Oh boy. This is from Big Spooky Guy. Let's see what Big Spooky Guy's got to say. People are not going to like my take, but I see posts like this all the time and I've never understood them. In my opinion, your contract with your ex ended. I mean, okay. Maybe he didn't tell you because you do not own her or your friend or your friend, and them sleeping together has nothing to do with you, and therefore it is none of your business. I'm guessing that is a real problem for you, though. If you and him had an agreement of sorts about not sleeping with each other's exes, then sure, that's not cool. He broke your trust. However, there's nothing inherently wrong with your friend following his interest in someone, and I believe it's both selfish and petty to limit your friend's own happiness and romantic exploration. Your emotional reactions are your responsibility, and no one else should have to forego possibility of love in order to take care of them for you, especially not a friend. Shouldn't you want your friend to meet people that make them happy? Who are you to say that your right to explore a relationship with Emily is any greater than his? I've had this happen a few times in life when a friend had a fling with one of my exes. I was like, yeah, man, I get it. I fell in love with him too. Best of luck and see you for cards next weekend. I wouldn't say you're the asshole because these things are nuanced, but I wouldn't say he is either. Yeah, not fond of calling it. I get like social contract. Your contract with her ended. Your time with her ended. You're done. You had access to Emily and now your access is up. I somewhat see it's Jover. I somewhat see like how that can seem possessive over two people. I will concede that this person has a point that it is somewhat strange-ish to have that code, because these are two people who you're just saying you two aren't allowed to fuck or fall in love, I guess, but it's really not invasive. It's just being like, this is a norm to be not fucking people who just got out of a relationship. Because when you tell me that you slept with someone who just got out of a relationship, that to me always, without fail, reads like they were waiting or even cheating. Now I have no backup for this. I have nothing but my word. But in my life, where people have gotten with somebody who has just gotten out of a relationship, this is because they were already eyeing that person, or they were already cheating with, or at least warming up to the idea of cheating with that person. Like, yes, he said they had a lot of differences, but I wonder if they were planning on dating, if they're planning on getting married, and then like how long did it take for these differences to break them up, is I also want to know. I want to know kind of what the timeline is of them just going from we're getting married to breaking up. Because he may have had something to do with that. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but in my life, where I have seen people who have gotten together with people right out of a relationship, that is most of the time because they were already at least flirting with each other. Maybe she just got out of the relationship and she was just fucked up, and then he was just like, hey, pretty lady, and it just happened to go like that, and there was nothing on, nothing that shouldn't have happened. Maybe it just happened that way. But man, it feels like, in my personal experience, it has been that particular way. And I just feel like it's really weird to hook up with somebody who was just with somebody you know. I don't like the idea of treating sex like a transaction and being like, I don't want to stick my dick where somebody else's dick has been. But I feel like it's somewhere between that. I feel like it's somewhere between those two poles. I think it's fair to say that it is strange to seemingly go after someone who was just with someone else that you know. You don't care how weird that makes things, because whether or not you subscribe to the social norm exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot subscribe to the social norm. It is still the norm. And therefore, you have to understand that in the circles that you are typically going to have, it is going to be seen as a weird and or selfish and or shitty thing. And that you may very well, it doesn't say that him and the girl are still together. So you really wanted to hook up with this girl so bad that you didn't mind tanking a friendship you've had since you were 12? Y'all are in y'all's 30s, and then you go and say we were never close? Either this guy never cared about you, or he cared more about getting his dick wet than anything that y'all had going. And if that's the case, that guy, you never truly knew him. And it's so scary to know somebody your whole life pretty much and to not know him. But it happens. And I don't mean to say dick wet in the way like, I'm just saying he went to go get his whistle wet with somebody that he probably had his eye on. Let's just fucking be real. And he was willing to throw away 2 decades worth of a friendship for it. And that's his problem. It's not yours, OB. I say personally, not the asshole. It's not a contract. That's your first issue. I believe in social contracts. I don't believe in relationships being a contract. Relationships are ever evolving. A contract is a stagnant thing. I don't think that's the right term for that. I think people fail to see it was his friend that hurt him, not his ex. He doesn't care about her anymore. His friend broke his trust, right? And seemed to not care at all about his feelings and said they weren't close. His friend is kind of an entitled asshole. I agree. He did not say, I can't believe she would do this. He was like, I can't believe he would do this, because he knew what kind of place I was in. And to like, what if he saw y'all? What if he heard about it a little bit sooner? Like, as soon as y'all did it, what if he found out about it then? And he's still in this head state. He's still in his headspace, because that was only 3 fucking years ago. By the way, wow, good on him for finding someone else in 3 years since his ex broke up like that. Damn, bro must be like a 10 out of 10. I can imagine still being fucked up about that, because that's somebody that's a 2-year relationship you were expecting to live the rest of your life in. You were prepared to share your life with this person. And the person who you have shared your life with thus far 2 decades of friendship with, you have been betrayed by with that person. And imagine seeing them or seeing a picture of them and seeing them and just feeling that inadequacy, that insecurity, feeling like maybe you weren't good enough, feeling like, well, if it was another life, I couldn't do that to my friend. This is why it's just easier to do with microbes. How's Kiki doing? How are they? This one says, when I read your post, it's pretty clear you weren't technically broken up. You were fully irreversibly broken up. It was over. They hooked up discreetly enough that you didn't find out until later. What they did together in the private of their in their private time seems has had no impact on any of your other relationships, such as your friend group. It also had no impact on you till you found out and decided it was some kind of betrayal. Of what, I don't understand, because it was over. I can understand that you might have felt hurt at the time, but those are your feelings to cope with, not anyone else's. I don't understand why you remain hurt and angry now. It's been 3 years. People act like a couple years is so long. If it was 5 years, maybe I would say, okay, maybe the time on that, maybe, because it was a 2-year relationship. But you have got to think, I know some people hop into marriage willy-nilly, but genuinely, when you think about it, marrying somebody means you are fully prepared to live and die with this person. You are gearing up to enter a marriage with somebody, and the only way that in your mind it's supposed to end is if one of you dies. That is a deep emotional level of feeling. And to say, because it was 3 years ago, it doesn't matter. And because you can be retroactively hurt by something. People say what you don't know won't hurt you. Yes, it can and it will. Finding out something retroactively can lead you to question a lot of things from the past. It can make you wonder, was I ever really friends? Did she ever really love me? It makes you, and then it opens up, so whatever closure you got yourself has been thrown into question. That's like finding out somebody who you were with, that you broke up with, cheated on you. And then you say, well, they were already broken up. You're already broken up, so what does that matter? Because now you have to recontextualize the closure you gave yourself. You have to recontextualize, he has to recontextualize his friendship, and he has to recontextualize his relationship, and he has to ask himself, and he has absolutely thought about it, did she cheat on me? You fucking weirdo, Josh. I can understand you might have felt hurt at the time. You are under no obligation to make this guy your best man. Choose whoever you wish, but for your long-term health and well-being, get yourself to a therapist and learn how to deal with hurt feelings and resentment like a grown-up. You're the asshole. What the fuck? Nothing he's doing is immature. He is no longer close to someone that he doesn't trust anymore. That's acting like a grown-up. The fuck? You have every right to pick who you want as your best man, but you're a petty child. You don't own your ex, nor do you get to police who she sleeps with. Your bruised ego is the problem here. Is that your actual honest takeaway here? So here's the thing. Yeah, OP can't police who his ex sleeps with. That was never in question. Friends, real friends, don't sleep with their friends' exes without talking it out first. And it's not like it was years after the fact. It was a month. It's a shitty thing to do. It's a violation of trust and a dick thing to do to a friend. That's so what of... And was it really? I'm telling you, in my experience, in my life, just looking at like my friends and their exes and their husbands and all of that shit in my real life, the people who sleep with someone as soon as they're out of a relationship were planning, plotting, and or maybe even cheating the whole time. Like, yeah, some people can just wait. Some people just may wait. Or hope or prey on your downfall. But some people genuinely just say, fuck it, and they go in there and cheat. And I would be considering that I never knew that she cheated on me, and I would feel bad. Let's see. Josh is not your friend. You cross the line, cut him out of your life immediately. It's not very classy, but the idea that somehow certain people are off limits because of who they're involved with in the past is stupid. Depends on how far in the past. I feel like a month after they broke up from a very serious relationship in which they were talking marriage is fucked up. You're the asshole. This whole people don't fuck each other's exes thing is stupid in the first place. Nope. I think that's weird. I think y'all are weirdos for wanting to sleep with people who are just in a relationship with a friend of yours. That's weird. That's strange. You're fucking with the friend dynamic. You are. If it is something that matters to them, it is something that matters. You don't really get to decide if it matters or not. And if you want to decide if it matters or not, you should be ready to decide that that person is no longer your friend, because it's very possible that they will just cut you out of their life, and they have every right to do that. And depending on who you tell, they'll say, "Nah, that's fucked up. You shouldn't have done that." How the fuck is it betrayal? What's wrong with you? You're the asshole. She's your ex, not your current SO. They're both free human beings. You don't have to listen to your weird possessive nonsense. I don't think it's weird and possessive. Yeah, okay, I do think it's weird. I do think it's a kind of weird norm. But again, a social norm is a social norm. Whether you subscribe to that social norm or not is completely on you. It does not matter what you really think if it is a thing that people practice. So if people practice not sleeping with exes and thinking, and they say that's weird, then yeah, you should be ready to face consequences for breaking a norm and a social contract. That's just quick maths. That's just quick maths. I'm sorry. All right. So now that we've done that one, so far we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've done 5, and I think I said, pretty much, I think I said not the asshole to all of them. Not the asshole to me. We didn't get to read this one because it got locked, so we've read 4. Not the asshole. I stand by it. I think it's not. I think he's not the asshole. He has every right to still be heard about it. He has every right to not. I don't think he's the asshole either, because that bro lost who he thought would be his wife, and he lost his friend, and he didn't even know it. And then when he found out, that just opened up the past, and it just opened up this whole world of hurt. And he probably doesn't think he knew either one of them ever. That's a lot to reconcile with, because you don't trust yourself as much. Not the asshole to this. Again, guy, weird name to give yourself. All right. Oh, it's got removed. What? I wonder how much I can read from here. Meta June on 10. I want to see what the people say then. If it got removed, why did it get Oh, here it is. Okay. So answer posting. This comment is a copy of your post. So oh. Okay, wait. So let's see if we can see this one then. Because there was one that this one got removed. This one doesn't have a copy in the comments though. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this one got removed almost instantly. This one isn't very long at all. So, okay, good. So if they get removed, auto moderator will still keep a copy of it so people can read, even if, they can't comment anymore. So this one says, let's scroll up. Am I the asshole? A man tried to defecate in my trash can at work, and I feel bad about it. All right. Yeah, I know. What a winner we got here. An old man came into my work today to use the restroom, but unfortunately the water to the facility had been turned off. I told him where the nearest public restroom was, and he told me he wasn't going to make it that far. Oh, God. And he asked me to give me one of our trash cans. I told him to take his business outside and make it quick. He ended up going running number 2 between an auxiliary structure and the building in plain sight of the customers. Oh my God. Oh, wow. He tried to make an escape around the building, and I intercepted him by car with his wife in the passenger seat, and I asked him if he was planning on cleaning his foulness up. He said he would and asked for supplies while trying to grab my hand. I got pretty angry at this point and told him, as a man, he should clean up his own mess, while also telling him not to touch me. He cleaned up his mess, and I don't even know how. What? Okay, I know old people have issues like this, and I know I could have been more helpful. But what do you guys think? A man's poo on your porch. How helpful are you feeling? It's really been messing with me. Uh, um. Uh, what? What? Yo, if this didn't get taken down, it would have been reposted to Am I the Devil? Um. Um. Okay, but it says okay, a man's poo on your porch. How helpful are you feeling? But it's your job. It's at your work. That's. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for him. Why would. Okay, I kind of understand, like, I kind of understand telling him, hey, man, no, wait, come on, clean up your mess. Like, all right, don't run away. But, like, I would pretty, like, I don't know. Because I can be in a foul mood at work, right? But, I wouldn't want to clean that up, especially if it was going to fall to me to clean it up. I wouldn't want to. And I would be like, but I don't know. I would be like, hey, man. Because it's clear he wasn't doing it to be, he was doing it because he had to. He wasn't going to make it. And he didn't want to shit himself. So I would at the very least be like, hey, sir, can we talk? Can can we talk? I don't know if I would have ever outed him in front of his wife about it. If she knew or if she didn't know. Regardless, I don't know if I could have been like, yo, you're gonna clean your shit out of that trash can? Because what the fuck? At the same time, wow, in front of customers. But he didn't mean to. He didn't want to. And I'm sure it is probably one of the most mortifying, if not the most mortifying moment in his life. And to embarrass him further seems like public flogging. I don't think you needed to out him in front of his wife. He already shit himself in a trash can in front of customers, right? He probably doesn't want to show his face on this side of town at all. And it's probably taking years off of his life as we know it. People can die literally from a broken heart. I'm sure they can die from shitting themselves in front of people, Wow. Let's see what the comments have to say. I remember reading this earlier. They were pretty much all "you're the asshole." In fact, the controversial comment here will probably be being like saying "not the asshole." Let's see what this. Okay, so it's not a whole lot here. Okay, we got two "not the assholes" here. Let's read this one here. You're the asshole. I'm sorry, but you're acting like an obviously bad guy from the Dartmouth. Oh yeah. All right, so this one says, this is one of the rare ones where I want to put everything from not the asshole through the you're the asshole to everyone sucks here. I don't know that the man, when you're about to shit yourself, I understand it's not other people's problem, but it's going to be if you shit yourself in their establishment. So it's better to let them, have them help you than for you to literally shit yourself where I mean, if you're not going to make it, and obviously nobody wants to deal with that, him asking to do it in the trash can, jeez. Poor guy. Everyone has urgency at some point. Due to health issues, I have in the past lost control of my bladder. Less than 1 second notice, frequent need, and I've spilled my pants while in a vehicle. Do you at this moment have everything you need in your vehicle to deal with soiling your pants while in a vehicle? A curtain for privacy, change of clothes. It's got the shirt too. Wet wipes, trash bags. Less than a month ago, I raced into a gas station, found the out of order signs, and raced out knowing the next option was 20 minutes away. It was painful. Giving the trash can was a quick solution. What did you want the guy to do then? After grabbing him the can, who got the toilet paper? Who hurried with a privacy blind? Did you bring a fresh bag, cleaning supplies, etc.? Him grabbing at you is weird. What was the context? Was he trying to keep you from storming off after dismissing him? Was he trying to kidnap you? Was he stumbling? Because you described it as diarrhea, I'm thinking he was seconds from soiling himself. What at that point should he have done? I kind of agree. I gotta agree. Like, if you're about to shit yourself again, yes, that is your personal problem. But if you shit yourself somewhere publicly, which he probably was about to, it was going to be your problem one way or another. At least if he shits in the trash can, that at least is going to be just, well, you just, okay, it sounds like there was no bag in the trash can. That's the only thing I can figure why he was so upset about it. If it was a bag in the trash can, pull it, throw it out. Would I want to be the one to throw old man shit in the trash can? No. But is it a million times better than cleaning it up off the floor? Yes. Yes, it is. It's cleaning his shit out of a can, or rinsing it out with a hose, or giving it to the janitor, or shit, the janitor, like, what the fuck? Leaving it outside in the rain. I don't fucking know. There's so many better options than having to clean it off the floor. So, help him. Fucking help him. And yeah, him trying to grab your hand. Like, old people be falling. Maybe he was falling. What was the context? I would have loved the context, but the post got deleted. You're the asshole. I'm sorry, but you're acting like, okay, yeah. You're the asshole. He was already humiliated. Why'd you have to be rude and mean about it? Nothing like kicking someone when they're down. Agreed. Not the bucket. Yeah, you're the asshole. Karma's gonna bite you. You're the asshole. He obviously wanted to go privately. It's not like the guy came in, took a dump on your desk, and left. You're the asshole. Oh, let's see what the top of this thread is. You're the asshole. I felt really bad for him. Yeah, I would have been grossed out, but at least it would have been nicer. He obviously wanted to find a bathroom and wouldn't have chose the public as his first option. If he had just walked up onto your porch shit and then left, I would understand being angry. Yeah, you're the asshole. It doesn't just happen to old people either. One day you'll understand his pain and it'll be your karma. Once in high school, a substitute teacher didn't let a girl go to the bathroom after she asked multiple times and told her to wait for the bell. She got up and peed in the trash can in front of everyone and then walked herself to the principal's office without a word. This was up around 2012, and she got detention because administration couldn't let it slide, but quite literally everyone was on her side. Wow. I gave all my kids permission to go to the bathroom they needed and were refused. Only a couple teachers pushed back because they never took advantage of it. You're the asshole. Could have let him use the trash can. It's your company's, not yours. Give the man some dignity. Agreed. Yeah, but no, if that was my job, if I did that at my job, I'd be fired. I'd definitely look the other way if he wanted to grab it himself while I was in the back. But for me to personally hand it to him, nope. Depends on the job. I mean, I know that people say, "Would you integrity?" Listen, finding a job is hard. If you think it's gonna get you in hot water giving somebody a trash can to shit in, don't do it. I hate it for this guy, but don't jeopardize your livelihood for a moment of like karma. Don't do that. People, companies are on some fuck ass shit. If it changes your opinion, I certainly wouldn't have been fired for giving him a trash can. Well, then you just made yourself look worse. I was already mad at the request before I considered how little I or the company cared about the trash can. Wish I could go back now, honestly. It's hard knowing the perfect thing to do, so this wasn't covered in school. You needed somebody to tell you in school to, like, not further embarrass an old man who's about to shit himself? Buddy, gotta tell you, you're the asshole. You treat him terribly. I'm sure he was mortified and you yelled at him and really confronted him in public. Have some compassion. Yeah, buddy, sorry. Nah, you're definitely the asshole. Our first asshole of the night. You're the asshole. You further embarrassed a poor old man who shit himself in public, in front of his wife and in front of everybody else. All right, congratulations. You feel big now? I think that person's honestly just having a shitty day. I think they were having a shitty day, and when you're having a bad day, you just are intolerant to empathy sometimes. And I'm willing to bet that on a different day, he wouldn't have reacted the way he did. And sometimes you gotta understand, empathy is supposed to be a thing that's just in you, but people are literally having to learn empathy. Every day they're making an effort to learn empathy. But when you're having a bad day, when you're just not in the mood, it is so easy to just not empathize and completely react with your first reaction. And it just happened to be aimed at I'm not defending this guy, but sometimes when I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a saint. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't like been unfair. When you're in a bad mood, everybody kind of gets it. Vinyan. Oh my god, my tracking. Maybe I should reinstall it, or maybe I should use an older version of Vinyan or something. Oh, there it goes. But how long will it be working? Who knows? What is with the bodily functions today? There's another one. It says, "Am I the asshole for making my sick husband clean up his vomit?" This one was voted not the asshole 4 days ago. And wow, I finally finished grading stuff and back. Hey, you just somebody got banned. Damn. Okay, Saribot. Shit, Saribot banned him with the fucking might of Zeus. Well, I'm glad you're back. You just missed one about old man shit himself. Sad. You know? Sad. Let's see. So today, apparently the themes today so far have been kids, bodily functions, and sisters-in-law. Those so far, with all the stories I've read, those have been the common threads. How bad of stuff do I have to do I have to type to get permanent ban like that? It was before I refreshed chat, Saribot told me that it was, I think, a known spammer. So yeah, Twitch keeps an account of people who are known spammers, and if they show up and you have a very strict moderating system, they will get banned on the spot. Yeah, I gotta check my ban list because I have never really gotten one of those here's free views, click this link, because I've had Saribot for a long time, so I never get those anymore. But some of my friends get so many bots. Let's build up my spam reputation then, at your own risk. Saribot's got a fucking crack shot, you know? Never misses. And Twitch is actually really good at keeping track of spammers, suspicious. You'll get like an account that'll be marked as like a suspicious account, like where it's speculated that they may be spamming or they may be a bot, but like there's no definitive evidence because it kind of has like a normalish pattern of typing in chats. It's not, so spam detected or like suspicious account activity. It's actually pretty neat, actually. Fucking used actually twice, my bad. Yeah, it's actually a pretty advanced as far as I can tell, it's a pretty advanced moderating system. It's almost always right. And if it isn't right, I feel like you would have to go out of your way to never claim to be good at English. Me either, man. I feel like you would have to go out of your way to get your account flagged like that. But, no moderating system is perfect. So let's see. Am I the asshole for making my sick husband clean up his vomit? So off the cuff, you would think, okay, that's kind of, if you're sick and you throw up, it really depends on a lot of factors who it falls to. Obviously, it's your responsibility default, but when you're sick, the responsibility of cleaning up your sick kind of gets, people are willing to do that for you, especially if you have to leave immediately. So you would think it would be an asshole. So it really depends on what's in this post, because people voted this person not the asshole. More liquids, maybe chunks of stuff. Yeah, more fucking liquids. Like I said, the themes so far have been shit, sister-in-laws, and kids. So we're really rolling with the gold here. So, am I the asshole for making my sick husband clean up his vomit? Okay, this is pretty short. Throwaway. My husband has been dealing with a stomach bug of some kind for the last few days. Few days, huh? Usually those things are like 24 hours. So, if it's a few days, if it were like a 24-hour one, then I can understand you conceding and kind of cleaning it up like the first time or two. But if it was a few days, at some point, yeah, he's probably gonna have to get up his own one, right? I feel like that's fair. I don't feel like it's fair to expect your spouse to clean up your vomit every time when it's been like a week or like a little less than a week of a stomach bug, you know? But like, okay, maybe the first or second time, but after that, it's kind of your responsibility to kind of hang out by that like little trash can or hang out by the toilet or hang out on the toilet. Because when I get a stomach bug, it fucking sucks. It's both ends. Both ends. So I just stay. I will, if I have a stomach bug or if I have food poisoning or something, I will stay downstairs because I can just walk a few feet and go straight to the bathroom. And that's the one that's less likely to be populated. It's kind of you when you're sick. It's kind of your responsibility. Like people can help you, but you would need to say, okay, well, I've been shitting and I've been vomiting. I need to stay away. I need to stay around the toilet or a trash can. And I will be like literally in the bathroom with a trash can to my mouth, prepared for the just fucking hell's gates to open up inside my anus. Like, and then it's coming and you're throwing up. I'm sorry if that's TMI, but I'm like, when you have a stomach bug, that shit sucks. That shit sucks, and sometimes it's both ends, and you just gotta be prepared with the toilet, with the trash can, with plenty of napkins, towels, mop. You just gotta equip yourself. In between being sick and miserable, you gotta get yourself somewhere, and you've got to equip yourself. Nah, man, I'm a biologist. I stopped being grossed out of stuff a long time ago. Fair. I'm not like super, like I said, I don't like burping. I don't like mouth sounds. Shit, piss doesn't bother me. Saliva doesn't bother me. Boogers, blood, sure, okay, whatever. But yeah, no. Let's see. So stomach bug the last few days, shit, week long, yeah, exactly. It was vomiting, diarrhea, nausea. Oof, the nausea sometimes. Cause vomiting, once you have vomited to a certain point, you pretty much stop vomiting, or at least you can vomit to the point where your nausea goes away. But diarrhea, it feels like diarrhea can just go and go and go like the goddamn Energizer Bunny. Meanwhile, vomiting kind of like I'm lactose intolerant, and if I have too much cheese, because it's really not milk might make my stomach kind of gurgle a little bit, but it's almost just like I just drank kind of like a laxative. Like I'll go at some point, but I would have to drink a shit ton of milk, and I don't even like milk, but I would have to drink a shit ton of milk to shit myself like that, you know? Or to have those horrible cramps. For me, it's really the cheese, an excess amount of cheese, not even just a little cheese. A little cheese I can have. I can always have a little cheese. An excess amount of cheese, I wouldn't even shit myself. I would throw up so horribly and violently and projectile that shit like I was a goddamn broken geyser. Whoo! It is the most painful, retching, nauseating. I'm on the ground in the fetal position, retching and clasping, begging for my mommy while I'm shaking and just asking for someone to end me already. That's what happens. It's horrible. I'm out of the grossed out phase and into the curiosity phase. I will poke and prod. Not of the shit, I hope. I mean, biology though. If I may ask, so milk doesn't do that to you? No. Though, then again, I don't like milk. I don't like milk. I think it's the association that I realized as a kid. I realized when I drink milk, my stomach hurts. So I think I kind of, what's it called? Pavlov? I think I kind of Pavloved myself out of ever possibly liking milk. Might not be lactose intolerance then. Huh. What makes you say that? Because like, I don't remember cheese. I was never a big, maybe casein intolerance. That's the thing though. When I do drink milk or if I drink a milkshake, I will go to the bathroom, but eventually. Like I can feel my stomach kind of gurgle a little bit and it's just like, hey, time's ticking. You'll probably have to go shit after a while. And if I drink more milk-based or milk-mixed stuff, then yeah, that timer will start ticking down faster. But I generally, I mean, really, I think I would have to start chugging glasses of milk, straight milk, to get to the point where I am in pain and on the ground. It's a completely different feeling. Like eating cheese, I may feel a little gurgle, but it's if I eat too much cheese, my body will just attack me. It won't start saying, "Oh, you might have to go to the bathroom." I really don't even go to the bathroom. I just throw it up. I really don't go to the milk makes me go to the bathroom. Cheese makes me just vomit, projectile vomit, horrible pain in my stomach. But not really too much of the pain. Like maybe if I drank more, it would be kind of, but really I've never enjoyed milk, so I couldn't tell you if it's milk intolerance or casein intolerance because I don't like milk. It's thick, it has a weird mouthfeel, and I don't like the taste of it. I don't see how people can just drink straight milk. That shit tastes weird. Not bad, just weird. Ugh. So I don't know. And I'll probably never find out. Maybe one day, if I just hate myself, I'll just start chugging milk to find out if it will just hurt my stomach. But I don't hate myself to that degree yet, so we don't know. Milk and cheese both do have lactose, but cheese has more casein proteins. So if you're having that violent reaction to cheese, it may be closer to casein than lactose that's making you have these reactions. Could also be histamine intolerance. Cheeses have really high histamines and milk contains nearly zero psilocybin. I've heard cases where people will move to like Europe or something and no longer have any lactose intolerance problems, which is interesting. I'm guessing it has something to do with the process. So I don't know. But yeah, people say, yeah, I was lactose intolerant in America and then I moved to Europe and I can eat all the cheese I want. Like, I don't know what's up with that. Okay, let me read the rest of this story. So throwaway, my husband's been dealing with stomach bug of some kind in the last few days. Vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, etc. I've been taking care of him in the house. Oh, I've been taking care of him and the house and kids by myself because of it, which is a lot of work with 2 under 5. Yikes, 2 kids under 5? How many kids is it? This morning, god damn it, my tracking. This morning, my husband wanted to try eating something, so I made him toast as requested. As he was on the couch nibbling on his breakfast, I was making our toddlers their breakfast. Hey, Darby! I was making our toddlers their breakfast and feeding them when I hear him violently gagging in the other room. He'd been hanging out in the living room during this entire illness, so he had a trash can in there in case he had to puke or whatever. I called him out to remember to use it or to go to the bathroom if he thought he had to vomit. He didn't listen and threw up all over the floor and got some on the couch. My husband then comes in where I'm feeding our kids and says he's gonna go to our room so I can clean up his puke. You fucking said what to me? I'm feeding our kids. You try some toast to see. First of all, you don't try toast to see if you can eat after vomiting. You try soup. And then you try to nibble on like a little vegetable that's in that soup. You eat that broth, and then you try to nibble on like a little of that vegetable or something and see, and you try that way. You don't go straight to something solid like toast. Let's see. I said absolutely not. There's really no reason for him to vomit all over the floor, so he needed to take care of it. I've been cleaning up all weekend already without complaining when he was getting sick by surprise, but he has plenty of time to prepare for this and not make a mess. Husband is now all mad at me for not showing him a good bedside manner, so am I the asshole? Update. I never expected so many comments. Feel very validated. All day my husband kept making snide comments at me about not being a good wife, and anyone who cares about their loved one wouldn't punish them when they're sick. So I showed him your comments and it finally shut him up. I've received many DMs and there's a lot of comments about hubby possibly getting me and our children sick. Don't worry, the rest of us are okay. Husband likely got food poisoning from eating food that had been sitting in his work break room for nearly 24 hours. Thanks for all the comments. So it's not even a bug that he just caught by happenstance. It's likely food poisoning from eating some food he shouldn't have fucking eaten. Yes, after you get past the point where you are being surprised by your vomit and diarrhea, it is 100% your responsibility, like I was saying earlier, to be equipped with towels, trash can, trash bags, gloves, mop, and stay near the bathroom. It is your responsibility after you get past that initial cripplingly sick phase. Because if he was well enough to sit there and say, hey, can I have some toast? He was at least in the in-between point. So before you try something, get your stuff together. Keep not cleaning that shit up, homie. Not clean that shit up, homie. Like, bro, if you're going to say, okay, well, I feel well enough to try some toast. You feel well enough to get up, to get a mop, to get the bucket, to get a trash can, to get some gloves, and to station yourself by the bathroom in case, yeah, it's probably food poisoning. He's a dumbass for eating food that's been in the work break room for 24 hours. The work break room? What happens in the work break room stays in the work break room, bro. You shouldn't be eating anything that's been in there that long. You had to remind him to vomit in the bin or bathroom? Yeah, like, oh, honey, make sure you vomit in the bathroom. Girl, what other things does this man not do for himself that you have to tell him? I've been so violently sick before that I couldn't make it to the bathroom and threw up in the hallway, so I know it's not also always possible to control it, but you know what else I did? Clean that up myself because A, I'm an adult who can clean up after myself, and B, because I didn't want to potentially expose anyone else to my horrible stomach bug germs. Your husband's being selfish and inconsiderate, not the asshole. I want to see if there's anybody who wants to say she is the asshole. I genuinely want to see what mental gymnastics they would have to do to say that this poor woman who is feeding their children, who has been cleaning up his muck for days. She's been cleaning up after him for days. She's been feeding their children, 2 of which who are under 5. And she even said, hey, you know I made you that toast. Make sure you go to the bathroom. And he still retched and threw up all over the floor and said, I'm going to lay down when you clean up. Bitch, who the fuck are you talking to? Who are you talking to? I'm going to go lay down when you clean up. Nobody told you to eat that wrinkly, dinkly ass food from your work break room. Nobody told you to fucking, sit on the couch while you're testing your ability to eat food for the first time in a couple days. I know you can't always control it because I know from having violent, horrible lactose intolerance that sometimes that shit comes out of you like a projectile and you can't control it, nor can you aim it. All you can do is let go, let God, and pray to anybody who will listen that it will finally be over this time. Vomiting is one of the worst feelings in the world. At the same time, you feel better after you vomit. I feel like a new person after I vomit. So if I say, oh shit, I vomited all over the carpet, that fucking sucks. Carpet, that shit's a bitch to clean. But you better get down there with a towel and some rags because you've been sick for days and you finally got in the clear. You're the one who fucking did this to yourself. Bro, grow up. Like, when I had food poisoning, I was best friends with the bathroom. Shit didn't even leave until I felt like I could walk with it. Man, I know. You stay posted up. Hello, first time chatter, distributor of wickedness. What's good? How are you doing? Jesus, take the wheel, man. Man, please. I be praying on that toilet, please. One time I ate some sushi that had been sitting out in the sun because I'm a stupid dumbass. And you know who cleaned up my mess because I was just stupid dumbass? Me. I'm sure my mom probably helped me out, like, courteously, maybe the first time, but, like, it is on you if you, especially you eat something that gives you food poisoning that you knew you were gambling on. You do that. Yes, it is on you to clean up your mess. Now, there's one time where I had, like, horrible nausea, and I threw up in the work bathroom and I had to leave immediately. And I know that one of the ladies cleaned it up and I thanked her so much for that. But I was not, when I say I was shaking. I felt like I had the chills. It almost felt like flu symptoms. Like cheese does me horribly. There's no way I could have cleaned it up myself without taking at least 2 hours to do it. I was not even able to physically stand. And every movement made me feel like I wanted to die. So there's no way I could have cleaned it up myself. But, like, once you get past the point where you're about to fucking keel over, yes, it's your responsibility. So it looks like there's not really even too many controversial things. So let's see. This one says depends on just how sick he was and how violent the onset of vomiting was. I'm inclined to think not the asshole because he was up in the living room and not in bed. There was gagging first. He didn't need to immediately jump in the shower. However, I and others in the family have sudden vomiting where we couldn't make it to the bin or the bathroom. So much so that we were double prepared by having a towel handy. Exactly. He didn't prepare whatsoever. That can be used to catch sudden vomit and best it can. So that kind of sick, the healthy cleanup, floor, bed, couch, while the sick gets showered and changed. Yes, if it can really truly just not be helped, but this has been days, he needs to grow up. You gotta grow up. No assholes here, nah. He's definitely the asshole for that. Like, you are over the initial straight up sick and not able to take care of yourself, period. This is you testing around to see if you can eat. At that point, you should have had something prepared. Duh. Fucking duh. Has he never been sick before? Gosh, when guys get sick, it is like the end of the world. I'm the asshole for telling my friend everything everyone has been afraid to tell her. Okay. Drama. Let's see what we got here. Am I the asshole for telling my friend everything everyone has been afraid to tell her? I, 17 female, have a friend who has gotten a new boyfriend a few months ago. Our friend group, 5 girls, was really happy for it first because he's nice. Wow, is that... Boy, when you're a teenager, that's all it takes. Oh, he's nice. Oh, that's all it really needs to be.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for the follow, bro. I just realized all my audio was in my headphones. Let me put this there we go. Yay! Thank you. Our friend group, 5 girls, was really happy for it at first because he's nice, but it's gotten to the point where they can't be apart for more than 5 minutes. He lives in a different city, yet somehow he's always here. When we're at school, they FaceTime constantly. The moment school ends, he's already waiting at her house. Whenever our friend group hangs out, he's there too. It's gotten really annoying. Question, distributor. Where'd you find me from? Just like on the Twitch page, or did you find me from like a server I posted in? Let me know. I'm always interested to know where people find me from. Let's see. We literally can't be around her without him being being there, or at least being mentioned. And when he is there, she won't even look at us. It's like we're invisible. It feels like she's not our friend anymore. Last night, our group planned one of our usual late night hangouts. You just saw me on Twitch? Hell yeah. Twitch finally pushing me. Let's fucking go. 85 followers. We're so close to 100. I can taste it. I mean, we're not like super close, but we're pretty close. Last night, our group planned one of our usual late night hangouts. We meet around 10 p.m. and walk around all night just talking. But 3 hours in, it was obvious she and her boyfriend were just walking ahead of us, talking to only each other and ignoring the rest of the group. Everyone else kept whispering about how annoyed they were and how mad the situation was making them. I wasn't enjoying myself at all. Let's see. I asked the girls if they wanted to just leave them because honestly, I didn't think they'd even notice. One girl said yes, but the other 2 didn't want to abandon her. So I left with the one who agreed. We said goodbye, and only then did my friend finally notice us for the first time that night. She asked where we were going. I was so annoyed that I just told her we'll talk about it later and left. We went to eat ramen and continued on our walk, and honestly, that night was more fun than anything we've done together with her in the past month. The next day, she showed up at my house unannounced, and of course, her boyfriend was with her. She demanded to know why we left. Bro thinks he's part of the team. Stay in the car. There's no need for him to be there. So I told her, not just about last night, but everything everyone had been too scared to say. I told her that she and her boyfriend are obsessed with each other, that ever since they got together, she doesn't care about us, that she treats us like we're the only there for her convenience, like punching bags when she's mad, that she acts entitled and thinks that just because she's had a rough past, she deserves everything, that she's rude, possessive, that she thinks we owe her something just because she was the one who brought us all together. I unloaded everything. She was crying by the time I was done and she left. But 5 minutes later, she started the argument again in the group chat, which annoyed me even more. So I said all the same things again, but this time I gave examples of every single thing I brought up. She left the group chat after that. Now the other girls are mad at me because of some of the examples I gave involved things she had done to them, not just me. I don't know what to think. Am I the asshole? I don't know. I don't like how we all complained behind her back, but no one had the guts to say anything to her face, and I feel kind of bad I made her cry. First of all, this is absolutely teenager shit. Like that, but it's also at the same time a very petty, tiny, condensed version of things that happen in people's real life all the time. I think she probably, because of her rough past, maybe she saw something in him like Fuck, my tracking stopped again. Oh, there it goes. Maybe she saw something in him that like made her really feel seen. I don't know. Like platonic relationships do scratch a lot of itches. They scratch most itches, except for a few that only a romantic relationship can kind of scratch. So maybe she saw something there that made her feel seen or right, and she was not willing to let this person go. I don't know, man. I really don't. Fucking tracking again. Why is the Vinyan? I'm about to crash the fuck out. I'm gonna start using VC face again because the fuck is going on with Vinyan? There it goes. I don't know, man. This is one of those things where it's just kind of like y'all are just young. This is like a light version of what happens in every relationship. Once somebody gets married or gets in a relationship, yes, friends take the back seat. They take the back burner. Not to this degree, though, to the point where she's just ignoring everybody. Like, they're definitely in a honeymoon phase, but she's being very weird to her friends over this guy. There's room for everybody in her life. But again, this is just kind of petty little teenager shit. I don't really think she's the asshole. Gentle, you're the asshole. Hear me out. It sounds like at no point was a calm and reasonable discussion had about this. You guys all just kind of sat on this, building resentment until someone exploded. That's poor conflict resolution. Also, you really shouldn't have dragged your friends into this. Yeah, I agree with that. When you confront somebody, you can only confront somebody about things they did to you in particular, about you, between you two. You don't get to drag your other friends into it and throw them under the bus because you have now made their name bad. You have now made them question and made that person question, oh, y'all talk about behind my back? Oh, and it may not even be, hey, we're going to talk about her behind her back. It's more like, I don't feel like I can talk to her. She's either very like intimidating or very headstrong, and they didn't feel like they could talk to her about it. So it may not have been needless squabbling and gossip, but it seems like it just needed to be like a group sit down. But it also sounds like she wouldn't have even really been willing to sit down with him because she would have wanted to be on. If you can say it in front of me, you can say it in front of him. You can tell both of us. If it was that kind of situation, be like, listen, all right, well, I'll tell both of you guys. I think that you guys don't really respect the time that we're all supposed to have as friends, and we should have some time together without him. I feel like that's fair. You can say a lot gentler than that, but yeah. It's their choice whether they want to bring up the issues they're having with her. You took that choice away from them, essentially put them in the center of a fight they never wanted. Yep. Plus, she added things to her list of complaints that seemed deeper seated than the points she made in the rest of the post. These are very personal and sound like OP doesn't even like this friend. I don't know if she didn't like her ever, but she definitely doesn't like her at this point. Gentle, you're the asshole. Young love is a weird thing, and you're right. They're probably obsessed with each other, at least in the way it feels in that age. It's clear you find it annoying too much. Your friend is withdrawing, but you never really brought it up with her, nor did your friends. The only time you did was when you snapped at her after letting these feelings boil over. Why didn't you not sit down and speak with her before blowing up? I'd say the fact the other girls in the group aren't happy with you is probably a fair reflection. It sounds like you use examples with other members of the group, which would make it seem as though the group was ganging up on her. Yep. That's how I would feel if that happened to me. I would feel like I was being ganged up on. And I would feel like it came out of nowhere and I didn't have any chance to respond. And then she left crying. This person says everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here, but not just the two of them. The other friends also suck. Like, I miss being 17. Everything is so important at 17. You're not even fucking... Bro, everything is so important at 17. Oh my god, my tracking! Vinyan, I'm going to crash out on my tracking program so hard. Vinyan, please get your shit together. Maybe I'll just close it and then open it back up. I'm going to move from Vinyan to something else. Maybe to VC Face or to Warudo, because it keeps crashing really bad. Stand by. I'm going to change, well, not change programs, because I'm too deep into it now to change programs, but Open it back up. Wow, it doesn't even want to open again. Okay. There we go. Weird. Oh, good. All right. Yeah, that's true. Everything feels really important when you're 17. When you're 16, 17 years old, the whole world feels like it's your oyster. And at the same time, everything is hyper important. Somebody said you're all assholes. Just tell people how you feel instead of waiting until it gets to this point. I can't stand people like this. Gossiping and pretending it's fine, expecting her to magically change her behavior, then getting mad when she doesn't. Completely agree. The first time the friend even knew it was a problem was when she was berated with a laundry list of why OP and her other friends don't like her. I agree, but saying they're all assholes, like when people say gentle, you're the asshole, that's fair. Because saying you're all assholes, like they're 17. They're stupid. They're so fucking stupid. And everything matters to them. So, like, you know, in the hindsight, they'll know it didn't fucking matter. Not really. And they won't even remember this when in a couple years, but 17. So I say kind of everyone sucks here on this one. So we've only had one asshole tonight, and this one's everyone sucks here. Am I the asshole? Asked for one grad pic for my daughter with my ex-husband. Grad pic with my daughter with my ex-husband. Oh, marital drama. Very short too. Okay. Am I the asshole? Here's the story, all. I divorced. Here's the story, guys. I divorced my husband 8 years ago. Like, all right, weird tone we got. Here's the story, everybody. Just got divorced. Woo. Am I the asshole? Here's the story, all. I divorced my husband 8 years ago. He has since remarried, and I have never been happier for two similar people to be together. Aw. I cannot stress this enough. Oh boy. You want us to keep that in mind for the rest of the story. Our daughter graduates high school in 2 months, and I asked the ex if he will stand in one picture with me, our daughter, just so she has a memory from this milestone with just her parents. That's the father of her child, so I don't think that's a bad thing. This simple request has spiraled. He's okay with it, but is worried how his wife will feel left out. Oh, I thought it would be like her husband or like her boyfriend or something. Turns out the resistance is coming from her. For my daughter's grade 9 grad, he said yes to a picture, and then suddenly on the day of said no because his ex-wife argued she too is a part of this family. No, she's not. This family exists completely, but this is not her family. He is her family. They are not her family. She doesn't have to be in the picture. She's weird. It's just one picture. She will be in plenty of pictures as a stepmom, but seems to have struggles making concessions for this, and now all of a sudden, this is about her again and not the grad. For context, I should also add she has admitted she reads over every text I send him, all kid related. We don't talk outside of kids whatsoever, and he can't email me without CCing her. For the last 6 months, I've ensured no contact with her, just him, and her intensity and wedging made me uncomfortable. But now our daughter is mega stressed with all this and fails to see that this spiral of a simple, normal ask, one, should have never been an issue in the first place, and two, isn't rooted from my end. The worst part, my daughter wants a picture with just her parents and has asked for this explicitly, yet her dad is on the fence based on what wifey number 2 will say. In my opinion, she has no voice here, but then does that make me asshole? No. She has the issue. That lady has problems. She has mega fucking problems. If you cannot stand the idea that you are not the be all end all of your husband's family that existed before you, you are the problem. That has nothing to do with anybody else but her. Her and him and the child. You are weird. What is it with some step parents wanting to straight up replace the parent that they are being? Like, if they're the stepmom, they want to replace the mom. They're the stepdad, they want to replace the dad. You cannot erase the fact that he has history with somebody. Making him CC all the emails, making him let her screen all the text messages between the two of them. If you cannot understand that a family that was started before you will mean that your husband will forever be in this woman's life, you do not need to date somebody who has kids, who has an ex. You need to date somebody who has never been married or at least does not have kids. His life will forever be tethered to this woman via a child. So I'm sorry that it's not all about you, ooh. I'm so sorry that he had a life before you came along. If you didn't want to deal with this, if you didn't want to be a stepmom, then don't put yourself in the position to be a stepmom. You will always come second to his child, as you should. Sorry. The mother of his child matters. Sorry. Maybe you should have dated anybody else. There are so many men on earth who have never had children. Find one of them. Can't be hard. They're everywhere. Sorry. Let's see. I was your daughter in high school. Her graduation is about her, and stepmom's feelings do not matter right now. My dad ultimately told her to stay home because he understood the strain and immediate roadblock it would put on a relationship. Please stand up for her and encourage dad to attend on his own. I promise you she'll appreciate it and remember. Edit, if you need to, remind him that it's your daughter's choice whether she has a relationship with him or not after high school and what that relationship looks like. Good point. After high school, if not already, shortly she will be 18, and it will, depending on what country this is, but yeah, she'll be 18 and it will be up to her like how she pursues her life. And if she finds herself slighted at this point, she may decide to go low or no contact with him for a while because she may not want to deal with the stepmom. Do you want to risk having limited or no contact with your daughter over a new woman who is, yes, important, but not as important as your daughter? He needs to nut up and decide his daughter and the memories she will have for this once in a lifetime event is more important than how his wife feels at the moment. Not the asshole. I feel like this is buried, but I was looking for the worst part is my daughter wants a picture with just her parents, and he has asked for this explicitly. In no way, shape, or form does taking this photo indicate you're married, a team, or anything else to each other. It's just a photo for your shared kid. Let them take a photo of the three of them for their wall. Why? Tell your husband his wish-washiness of one stinking photo is really hurting his own kid because she wants a photo. She probably will never really look at this photo, but she will remember how her dad refused to take it with her, how he was going back and forth on attending the graduation and taking pictures with her on her big day. She will remember that and she will resent him. He needs to look forward, nut the fuck up, tell his wife what's what, or honestly, if they can't see eye to eye on this child is not, this child, that is a lifetime gig. If this is this problem now, it is not going away. She's insecure. He's a coward. Those two need to break up. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're gonna date somebody with kids and you're not willing to accept that you come number two, damn, rip. Sorry. Maybe Photoshop her out. This, have the daughter between her parents, stepmom next to dad, then just remove stepmom. Easy, no drama. No, I want drama because this needs to be nipped in the bud. This is not we'll just show Photoshop her out. Don't be passive. He needs to nut up, or somebody in the situation needs to nut up because this child is going to fucking hate her dad going forward because he was not willing to step up to the mom. Let's see if anybody gave any delusional takes in the controversial. Info, did you ask or did your daughter ask? It's not an unreasonable request at all. I just wonder if the messenger is part of the problem. I don't think the messenger should have anything to do with this. She screens all their conversations. Goodness, what the fuck does she have to send by carrier pigeon? Smoke signal? ASL? What the fuck does she have to do? Like, no, that's all the ex-wives, that's all the current wife's problem. My parents denied me this. They had to get married and didn't last to my first birthday. They're gone now. I have nothing. Oh my God. Wow. Damn, go the fuck away. Not the asshole, but how about this? You have a photo with your ex, your daughter, and you. Then you have a photo with stepmom, her father, and her. Maybe we can also have one with all of you in it. That way we can pick a photo from said event. How about that as a compromise? No compromising. No. OP, your opinion is irrelevant. That's his issue to sort out. This is not concerning you. It's between daughter and her dad. Everyone sucks here. The fuck are you talking about? That no. She should also stand up for her. Red is so fucking no. She's X is the asshole. OP is not the asshole. No, it is her responsibility to stand up for her child, regardless of if this is a teenager or an 18-year-old, or regardless, because one day she will not have her father, she will not have her mother, and she needs to be able to look back on those pictures and at least be connected to them. And then looking back and thinking to yourself, wow, I don't think my dad really loved me as much as I loved him, because he wouldn't even stand up to his wife for one day, for one photo. Do you really want that to be your legacy you left behind, you coward? God, what a spineless man. Let's see. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay towards a car I don't own and can't drive? Okay. Consider me interested. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay towards a car I don't own and can't drive? Okay, so it's like carpool. I live with my girlfriend in the UK. I work from home, so I don't need a car, but for her job, a car is essential since she works across different locations. Okay. I don't have my own car because it would be an unnecessary expense. I'm on the insurance for her car, so I can drive it, but usually I only drive when we're going somewhere together, since I enjoy driving and she doesn't as much. I chip in for petrol. Yeah, of course, petrol, UK. Every month. Her car started having issues back in August, so she decided to look for a new one. She found one at the start of September, but had to get a small loan to cover it. She's paying €100 a month on it, and I asked if I pitch in €50. I agreed, but made it clear it would be my only contribution since I'm not the one on the title, and she was fine with that. I also said I'd like to use the car myself when she's not using it, and she agreed. Hold up. Last week I had a day off work and she was working from home, so the car was just sitting there. I asked if I could borrow it to go see the family since she didn't need it that day. She said no and that she'd rather I didn't drive it without her for a while. When I asked why, she just repeated she didn't want anyone else driving it right now. I reminded her of our agreement and pointed out that I'm also paying toward the car loan. She still said no, and so I told her that if she's not going to let me drive the car, then I'll stop paying toward it. I don't think it's fair to contribute if she's going to refuse to let me use it on my own. She told me I was being unreasonable, but I don't think I am. Am I the asshole for refusing to keep paying towards the car when she won't let me drive it? Okay, that I kept thinking I understood, and then I was like, huh? Hold on. He's definitely not the asshole. Hesitate. Definitely not the asshole. Let's see. Okay, I don't own my own car. Be an unnecessary expense. I chip in for petrol. Her car started having issues, so she decided to look for a new one. She found a new one at the start of September, but I did a small loan to cover it. She's paying €100 a month on it, and asked if I pitch in 50. I agreed, but I made it clear it'd be my only contribution, since I'm not on the title, and she was fine with that. Okay. I get not wanting to. Okay, but she asked for like I guess saying, okay, I just want you to know that I'm only going to make this one-time contribution. But that can kind of be seen, like, to me, that comes off kind of asshole-ish, the way he said that. But he may have just been like, hey, I just want to know, let you know I'm setting this boundary. But it read to me like, all right, but I want you to know I ain't got shit to do with this car, even though he drives it sometimes. I don't know. It really depends on how often he's driving it, because at some point, yeah, but it's all right. When I'm typing on my keyboard, I have the English and Spanish keyboard, so hey, sometimes I be fucking shit up because I was like, hesitate. It really depends on how often this guy is driving, and he says he enjoys driving. He doesn't need a car, but he enjoys driving. He only pitched in. She only asked him for €50. He said he agreed, but he made it clear there's nothing wrong with setting your boundary. I just don't know how he said it, and I don't know how often he's driving it. So I hope people are asking, at least in the comments, how often do you drive it? Because I think that really matters. I don't think he's being completely, I would say maybe gentle your asshole or not the asshole or just no assholes here. I don't really think, I don't know. Let's see what people are saying. Not the asshole. Based on her reaction, I'd be tempted to say she removed you from the insurance to make it cheaper and doesn't want you to drive it uninsured and get into trouble. Just to clarify, her insurance is cheaper with me on it as I'm 3 years older and have had my license for longer. Oh, I wouldn't pay a penny if I wasn't allowed to drive it. Yeah, no, I agree with that. If she says you can't drive it, then no, I wouldn't pay any money towards it. No, if you told me I don't want other people driving the car right now when I want to and you're not using it and you won't be using it that day, then no, I'm not paying money on it. No. Depending on, like I said, how often he uses it, maybe gentle you're the asshole, but honestly, with as far as that part goes, you just telling him you can't drive the car even though it's sitting there and there's nothing that I need to use it for. That's weird. Why? Why would you tell him that? Something's weird here. Not the asshole. I don't know why you're paying it all unless you pool your finances more generally. It isn't your car. You don't use it except for to be her chauffeur. I mean, some people just like driving. If that person tags along or they don't want to drive but you do, if you are willing to undertake driving, I don't think it's so much being her chauffeur. Some people just like driving. Even chipping in for petrol is kind of and not necessary, but if you don't have shared expectations, you need to talk about that because it might be a symptom of different expectations in relationship more broadly. Usually I only see where people chip in for gas if they are just riding with you all the time. Or if they're constantly taking you to do errands, but if it's somewhere you two mutually decide to go together, chipping in is not necessarily necessary, but it is a kind thing to do since it still is her car and it has to have gas sometime. But like, he's already doing the driving because she doesn't like driving. And if you guys are going mutually together, it's not specifically his duty to pay the gas money. Not the asshole. Stop paying towards the car. Take your name off the insurance if anything happens while she's driving it. You don't want your name brought into it. Also, this is a snapshot of your future. What's yours is hers. What's hers is hers. This is not an equal partnership. I usually don't agree with this is a snapshot of your relationship when it's something this small, but I kind of gotta agree with that. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of not the asshole. Okay, this one says, I'm trying to understand how the conversation just ends at her saying just because. So you just went with that and then y'all stopped talking about it? Ridiculous, not the asshole. Maybe try communication. I can't force her to let me drive it. Okay, OP doesn't, and I can't force her to talk. She didn't give me a reason. I can't make her give me one. So, yeah, so I guess she just stopped talking and he just stopped talking. All right, you're being a sucker. Stop the payments unless your name is on the title. Also rethink this relationship, not the asshole. Okay, I want to see if anybody's going to say he's the asshole. Let's see what we got. I wouldn't say the comments on this one will be delusional. I just feel like it's kind of weird. I just take the keys and go, nah, it's her car. At the end of the day, even if you're kind of on the insurance and stuff, that she could report it for theft. That is her car. You just now that you know that this is something she's gonna do, you just got to go forward and say, all right, do I want to be in a relationship in which, like they said, what's mine is mine, what's yours is mine. If you feel like you can be in a relationship where somebody is going to say and just revoke your access to things willy-nilly, if you can live with that, then cool for you. If you like it, I love it. But if you say to yourself, okay, I don't think I want to be in a relationship with somebody who can just revoke my access to things that I'm kind of mutually helping pay for, then yeah, it probably is time to rethink. And then I would be like, okay, you're not going to sit in here and tell me no without giving me any kind of reason for it when I'm also paying towards it. That's not fair. You're being weird. And I want to know, why are you being weird? We're not going to end the conversation that you can't drive it and that's it. Tell me something, because it's sitting there. You're not using it. You don't need it. It's not in the shop anymore. Nothing's wrong with it. Why are you not going to let me borrow it? No, you don't have to. But like, at least give me the reason so I can understand that going forward. If you're not willing to communicate on something this simple, I am forced to believe it's something more than I just don't want to. That's strange. Oh, sounds like you just need to have a conversation when she's off the clock. It's her car. If she doesn't want you driving it without her for a while, that sounds temporary. And also sounds like something you should talk about while she's not at work. It definitely sounds like there's more to it. And if her concern is a sensitive topic, like she's worrying about your drinking habits or doesn't like something about how you drive her car, etc., it might not be something that would be easy to discuss in a minute or two while she is at work. I don't think there's anything wrong with stopping making payments for an agreement she's backing out of, but I think you're the asshole for interrupting her at work instead of taking a no for a no and waiting to have a discussion at a reasonable time when she's off the clock. That's fair. That's fair. I completely missed the when she was on the clock thing. That's fair. She might have been just kind of in a bad mood, but it's definitely something you want to talk about at some point. If you can't talk about it at any point and she just keeps stonewalling you about it, I would be forced to believe there's something more to it. And yeah, we don't know if this is a drinking thing. We don't know. Some people slam on the brakes really hard when they brake. Some people they don't let's see, he's paying for gas, so it's not that he doesn't fill the gas tank up, but some people drive you, they jerk your steering wheel, they forget that it's in neutral, they forget to turn it off, they forget to make sure the doors are locked, and so she might be fed up with it, but it's still on her to communicate what she doesn't like about what he's doing. If she's stonewalling him about it and she just never gives him a reason, again, gotta be forced to believe there's something else about it. I didn't interrupt her work. I asked a question. She should have made the agreement if she hadn't. She shouldn't have made the agreement. She had no intention of sticking to it. Yeah, not the asshole. I wouldn't pay towards her car if she isn't willing to hold up her end of the bargain. That is not being unreasonable. Is expecting her to hold up her own word and promises. Maintain your boundaries. If she doesn't want you driving her car, that's fine. There's absolutely no reason for you to be supplementing her car. Yeah, I agree. Not the asshole, or maybe no assholes here. It really just depends on what the details are. Without any details, I say not the asshole. I wouldn't say she's the asshole, but I feel like there's something else going on. Oh boy. Ooh. Am I the asshole for kicking my foster daughter out? How a few years ago, sisters, one was 15, the other was 7. At 18, she completely kicked out. All right. Let's deep dive. Oh, it got removed. But that's all right, because they always summarize what it is in the comments. So let's see, where is it? There, oh, there it is. All right. Automod says, this one says, my husband and I, 47. Okay. Usually they put their gender there. So that's why I was like, huh? I 47. My husband and I, 47, have fostered many kids. We've adopted two that we were fostering as we were able, and we have one biological daughter. A few years ago, we had sisters come to live with us. Come live with us. One was 15, the other was 7. We had hopes to adopt them both, but we were just currently able to adopt the youngest. The youngest last year, and her sister had already aged out. Her sister's now 21. Her sister and I never got along, and it wasn't her fault. She had issues with the law, trauma from men, God, and was diagnosed bipolar. At 18, she completely took off when I told her she would have a curfew and rules because I couldn't have her coming in late and waking up the other children. Last year, she reached out again, and about 7 months ago, she was in a rough situation, so I let her move back in. I noticed little things like her being weird towards my husband, but I just told myself she has to see him as a father. I just told myself she has to see him as a father. There's no way. But then last week, she had gotten drunk. I was making my husband and her drinks and explained them as especially strong. Then I watched her on our camera try to crawl into his lap. He immediately pushed her away and told her this was not okay and to get away from him. She ran off to her room, not aware I had witnessed it as well. I went into her room and told her to pack her bags and she had to leave. She got upset with me and said it wasn't fair. I'm supposed to be her mother and her sister lived with us and she had nowhere to go. I said I'm supposed to be your mother, but that is supposed to be your father and you've crossed the line. I told her we discussed how we go about this with visiting her sister, but she needed to leave now. She just started shouting at me and called me a bitch and left. She also sent a few demeaning text messages as well. My mother thinks I was too hard on her because of her upbringing and actually let her stay with her a couple of nights. Am I the asshole? No. No. Fuck no. What the fuck? Um, Sorry that she has trauma. That does not give her the right, nor does it allow her to be in your or your husband's space. Because you know who also has rights and who also could have very well have had a past? Her husband. What if he had a past? Like, what if she um what if he had, and even if he didn't, why the fuck would he be comfortable with that with somebody who he saw as like a daughter to him? She's fucking weird for that. Yes, she went through some shit, but she's 21 years old. You got to nut up. I'm sorry. You therapy and all of these things absolutely. But in the meantime, that does not give you the right to come on to people to try and make them strong drinks. That sounded like her trying to get him drunk. That's a no-go. That is somebody who's going through some shit that they may very well get somebody in trouble, get themselves in trouble, get themselves hurt. She's deeply broken, but that is not on him to say, "Oh, well, she's broken. Oh, well, she's been through some things. I should just let her try and get me drunk and come on to me." No, 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 no. This is somebody deeply in need of validation, and she can only see that coming from a father figure. And that is something for therapy. That is not something for drinks. That is weird. That's weird. I feel for her, but no, 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 no. She has no right. There's no way. Sorry that shit happened to her. Horrible, tragic. I wish it never did. If I could fucking Thanos snap and no victims ever, just no trauma ever happened to trauma victims, I would. But she still has to see the consequences of her own actions. And once you have done something like that, you do not have the right to be in that household. You do not have the right to make the house owners feel uncomfortable, feel weird. And no, you do not have the right to coerce the husband with strong drinks. She is somebody who is going to wind up in jail very soon. And if she were a boy, a man, boy, if the genders were, I don't like to use that much. But honestly, genuinely, if the genders were flipped, he would have been under the jail. He would have been under the jail. No. Weird. Not, he was, did you read the post? She wasn't underage. If she's 21, then she's a grown adult to whom you no longer owe any responsibility, not the asshole. Yeah, she knows that. She knew that. She was doing that as a favor, and the girl took advantage of that, which is where the issue comes from. Oh my god. No. Oh no. Fuck, okay. It goes for 5 minutes. Let me put the timer on. Ugh. All right, 5. You just want to hear it. I don't know why. Ugh. All right. 28 years old, by the way. All right, 5-minute timer starting now.
If she's 21, then she's a grown adult to whom you no longer owe any responsibility, not the asshole. As a side note, bipolar is a mood disorder that can cause lack of impulse control during hypomanic or manic episodes. Drinking is basically a no-go when you have bipolar, especially if you're unmedicated. So if she's already had a traumatic life and has been abused by men, her behavior toward your husband is out of character for someone like that. She's looking for affection and validation from a father figure, and sexual behavior was probably the way she... Okay, we will not read that anymore with the Uwu voice. I hope this is everything you hoped it would be, and more. So sorry for reading something so deep. It's enough now? Thank you.
I have never been released from my shackles early. It's amazing. Thank you. So sorry for reading that with the ooh voice. I did not know where that was going completely when I started reading it. And so yeah, I hate that I read that with the ooh voice. What a fucking thing. I take it seriously. I completely take it seriously. It, like I said, if I could, erase all fucking trauma, I fucking would. like I said, that still does not give her the right to try and coerce the husband with strong drinks. She has sadly started to show signs of shit that she should not be showing signs for. I'm not getting into that on this stream. Am I the asshole for telling dad that if he didn't shape up, my mom was going to leave him? Huh. Let's see. She's 16. Her dad's 57. Love my parents a lot. She makes dinner. Da-da. Yeah, not getting into that. Am I the asshole for snapping when someone rubbed my belly and it Am I the asshole for snapping when someone rubbed my belly and implied I might be pregnant? That's wild. That's, oh, I hate when my neck gets stuck like that. That is wild, bro. Rub the belly. Okay, story time. Quick story time. So, someone who I see at work every day, like a customer, a pretty common customer that we have at my job, came, and normally I work with a lot of women and I see a lot of women at my job, and so I see this woman almost every day. So she came in and I noticed her stomach looked fuller. And so I was like, huh, but I didn't comment. So then I kept noticing, and it was like, because I thought, okay, sometimes people just have a really big meal or whatever. I was like, okay, maybe she just had a really big meal, right? But then I kept noticing, and it seemed like it was getting like a little bigger, and I was like, huh. So one day I asked her, just came out and said it, because I am kind of used to asking people outright, because most of the time I'm right. A pregnant belly has a very rigid shape to it. It's not like jiggly, really. It's pretty like, it just kind of sits there. It's just pretty rounded and kind of like not even malleable, right? So usually if someone is pregnant, you can notice a difference between pregnant and just kind of big, right? So but not wanting to be like rude, I thought it would be nicer if I asked her differently. So instead of saying, "Hey, are you pregnant?" I said, are you do you happen to be with child?" As if saying it like that would help most of the time. Yeah, what did I say? I can tell most of the time I can. Most of the time I can. Bun in the oven with child. Eat for two. I really thought it would help. It did not help, because you know what? Her answer was no, I'm just getting fat. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God. Yo, if I could just, if the earth could just open up and swallow me real quick, that'd be great. Thank you. Like, usually I'm right. Usually I get it nail on the head, but I was wrong. And she's just like, no, I'm just getting fat. And I just kind of stopped hiding it. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Because like, then again, because she's one of those people who have skinny arms, pretty skinny legs, and she just had like a little bit of belly. And so it's easiest to tell on people who are really small or skinny or like average size. So again, I thought I knew. I know, emotional damage. God damn, I felt so bad. She was really chill about it though. She was really chill about it. And like, we still laugh about it. Just like, are you with child? Oh my God, bro. I wanted to graduate myself on the spot. All right, so am I the asshole for snapping when someone rubbed my belly and implied I might be pregnant? So today, my office building was throwing a little fiesta-themed event, and they offered a free lunch in the cafeteria, so a bunch of us went down to grab food. While I was standing in line, I opened the Nest camera app to check something I saw a little bird that's been showing up outside every day. I laughed and casually said to no one in particular, "This bird comes to visit me every day." Right after I said that, a coworker who has made pregnancy comments toward me before came up, rubbed my belly without asking, and said something like, "Maybe it's because you've got a baby bird on the way." Oh. Oh wow, I love how my tracking froze as I just made like the most disgusted face. Cause what the fuck? Bro, that was such a violation that my program crashed. Um, I felt the immediate wave of rage. Like, why are we still doing this in 2025? So I said, don't be wishing that kind of bad luck on me. She looked super taken aback, and my boss, who overheard, also looked at me like I just said something offensive. It felt like I was the crazy one for being upset, but I didn't ask to be touched. I'm not pregnant, and I really don't like people making those kinds of comments about my body. Fair. Now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for reacting the way I did? Edit, I'm not overweight, which only makes it weirder because I do not look pregnant. There's a couple of rays of sunshine trying to make me feel bad about my weight, but maybe I need to be more specific. My coworker did not do this because of my looks. That's why I'm concerned, even though, yes, I'm not the most fittest person. I'm not the fittest person. I know I don't look pregnant. Uh, is this a woman? Oh, yeah, it says she looks super taken aback. So, okay, this is a woman. That's so fucking weird. That's so weird. To be rubbing somebody's belly and to talk about. See, I didn't do that. I asked if she was with child. I would never walk up and put, I don't like to be touched. So I know that if I don't like to be touched, that I feel personally, I assume everybody else doesn't like to be touched and I act accordingly. Why are you touching people, much less rubbing their belly and implying they're pregnant? Maybe it's because you've got a baby bird on the way. Maybe it's because you got my foot up your ass. Why are you touching me? You're weird. This is weirdo shit. I don't care. Sometimes, honestly, I feel like there's some things that, like, yeah, we women just really do get a pass for some things because any man would have had a foot up his ass about that. And I am not trying to be all like, I'm pro, like, I'm just trying to say there's some things that women just do get away with because it seemed like, oh, women are the nurturers, maternal. They get to kind of comment on this kind of thing. No, that's loser shit. It is loser shit to sit there and say, sorry, Stinky Dinky, need to get her. Don't talk to me like that. So, need to get her going. Semester's almost over though. Freedom soon. Freedom soon. Freedom will come. Thank you for the lurk. Have yourself a good time. Whatever you're doing, you're gonna grade words or you're gone. Either way, have a great time, bro. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for talking with me. There's no way anybody said this is the asshole. Not the asshole. Your boss is just giving your initial reaction to the one employee verbally snapping at the other. I wouldn't worry about that unless it's followed up with comments confirming they believe you're in the wrong. A lot was happening in the moment. I think you should follow up with email to your boss, coworker, and HR so your feelings are clear. Absolutely. This is definitely one for HR. Namely, I want to explain why I raised my voice to a coworker today, and it's usually not my style to snap at others. In the past, my coworker has made many comments to me suggesting I might or will be pregnant. I am not pregnant. I appreciate such speculation about my personal life and private reproductive issues at the office. I also found it jarring when my coworker rubbed my abdomen today without warning or consent, again indicating I was pregnant. I realize some of these things are no big deal, and I assume others feel the same way. Thus, I want to be perfectly clear that I do not welcome comments or the touching. Yep. Good. Don't mention raising your voice at all. Yeah, HR likes to latch on. I've never worked in an office, but HR likes to latch on to things because they're all just so fucking petty, and it's not about the people. It's about maintaining the company image at any cost. Not the asshole. Why she's so obsessed with the idea of you being pregnant? She needs therapy. Start recording every encounter with this crazy ass and bring it to HR. I'm starting to think she's in fact obsessed with me being pregnant. She's always making comments about me getting pregnant. Ugh. Oh. What the fuck? Ugh. That's so weird. Like, about making comments about her being pregnant, while not a good thing, getting pregnant? The fuck? Even though I have told her I'm not interested in that, nor is my husband. He even got a vasectomy because we don't want kids. She got pregnant old, so she thinks I'm gonna change my mind. Most of the time, she's a very sweet lady, but this one thing is driving me crazy. Also, though we are in Texas, she's from Latin America, and I know this is a cultural thing too. I don't care where the fuck she's from. That is weird. You don't put your hands on people, you don't talk about them getting pregnant. Being pregnant, oh, are you pregnant is one thing. Do you want to have kids? It's one thing. You should get pregnant, or you're going to get pregnant, or I believe in you getting pregnant one day is so fucking weird and violating. You fucking weirdo. This is you need to call her a loser. We don't call people losers enough. That's loser behavior. You're fucking weird. You're a loser. I don't care what her background is. I understand she got pregnant old. That doesn't mean anything for anybody else around you. The world doesn't revolve around you, you weirdo pregnant one and people. Ugh. I'm sorry, I can't even think. Because if somebody said, "Oh, you're gonna get pregnant one day," and people have said shit to me like that, like you want to, oh, you're gonna have kids one day, or one day you're gonna come to your senses. Oh, one day hell, one day shit. Leave me alone. And then there's always people with kids, bro. Nobody who doesn't have kids says shit like this. It's only people who have kids who say one day you're gonna change your mind. Why? Because you did. I ain't you. You ain't the main character, bro. You might not even be a side character. Why are you assuming what you know what's gonna happen in my life? I may just never get married. I just may settle down with 6 cats for the rest of my life. Why are you so worried about who I'm fucking and if I'm gonna fuck? You're either fucking, you're gonna fuck, or you will be fucked. How about you worry about you? You go get some, okay? You rack up that second kid at your age, at your big age, you leave me alone. And people be saying shit like, what a waste of a womb. You're about to be some waste in a goddamn urn. Leave people alone. There are enough kids in the world. There are kids right now in my state, in just my city. There are like 1,000, and I'm not even kidding, 1,000 kids in the foster care system. I know because I know people who foster kids, and they can't give these kids away fast enough. They cannot. There are 1,000 just in my fucking province, or like the county, like just 1,000 here. So imagine in every county in my state, if there are all 1,000 kids in the foster care system, and that's just in my state, just in my county. Imagine how many kids there are across the entire US who need a home. Why don't you go adopt? You want somebody to have some kids, why don't you go get some more? Leave me alone. Leave people alone. Not the asshole. And you need to put a stop to this as soon as possible. If you haven't already told this person to stop their behavior, both spoken and physical, do so in a calm, clear manner. If they continue, time to bring it to management or HR in the picture. If you think it's necessary, you can ask your boss to present it when you tell the person to stop their behavior, so there are no questions later about how you handle the matter. Yeah, you need to CC somebody. If this isn't an email, if this isn't like a sit down conversation, you need to CC somebody or CC HR. She touched you. She's implying things about you and your private life, and it's weird. And you don't want that to happen anymore. What? ChatGPT for real? My ChatGPT doesn't like being touched either, and saying to me that no one in this thread can clock it. Huh. Now the asshole wanted to say, "Don't be wishing that kind of bad luck on me," is an amazing response in the moment. Brava. I don't see. I don't know. If the rest of this part doesn't read like ChatGPT to me. This is too colloquial for ChatGPT. If you told ChatGPT to write in a specific style, that's one thing. But all of this reads very like usual. It is very properly formatted. But this part, don't be wishing that kind of bad luck on me, reads more like AAVE to me. So ChatGPT isn't really varied to the point where it would randomly like. And then it says, I opened the Nest camera app. Like, I don't know if ChatGPT would have dropped the brand. I don't know. And I'm not overweight, which only makes this weirder because I don't look pregnant. I don't know. This doesn't read ChatGPT to me. And I say the word aback. I say that word. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't feel like ChatGPT to me. AI? You mean am I AI? No, this just happened in my office here in pretty San Antonio, Texas. That feels weird. In pretty San Antonio, Texas. Are you advertising? Um, I don't know. You're clearly overweight and just not really coming to terms to it. That's so weird to say to somebody. That's so strange to say to somebody. You're overweight and you can't come to terms with it. Die, actually? Have you tried that? What do you and even if this person is overweight, this person said that they have made comments about them getting pregnant in the past. So it's clear it's about them wanting that person to be pregnant rather than them looking pregnant. But so fucking not the asshole, but if you're being mistaken for being pregnant a lot, maybe you could start doing some sit-ups and eating more. These people fucking suck. That's so fucking weird to say to somebody. Somebody who was like, that's so because some people and then people have hangups about things like that. What if she was unable to get pregnant? What if she had a bad traumatic past around sex and around those kinds of experiences? You don't get to just open up a dialogue about somebody's sexual life in a way that is invasive like that and still people get to say, well, are you fat? Die. The fuck? You're so weird. These are the same type of, these are belly rubbers in the replies. Well, are you fat? If you're being mistaken for pregnant all the time, and maybe you're fat. Maybe you should keep your fucking hands off of people at work and do your job. Whether she's fat or not has nothing to do. If you said, no, I'm not pregnant and I don't have any interest in that, that is it. In fact, that should have never come up because it's inappropriate. I don't know. Anyway, fucking belly rubbers on Reddit. All right. Let's see. This one. Am I the asshole if I do not want to help take care of my spouse's disabled friend for the next 30 years? Shit. Oof. This one might be kind of heavy. Okay. Taking care of somebody is a tremendous undertaking. And especially for 30 years, I can't see how this person will be the asshole. Taking care of somebody who is disabled is a tremendous undertaking. It would be an undertaking if it were 30 days and you would still have the right to say no. Your spouse's disabled friend for 30. Hold on. Wait a minute. I just noticed how I have my camera turned can control my head. Huh. Because I do tracking on my phone. Yeah, I do tracking on my phone. So I wonder if the issue I have where my neck will be stuck for a while has anything to do with like my phone being like off center. Let me see if I can prop it up a little differently. It shouldn't be off center though. That's the thing. Let me stick something there. It's not even a memory of their family, it's just a friend. Yeah, that's a tremendous undertaking for your spouse's friend. That's 30 years of your life. That's much. That's not even a little much. That's a lot of much. That's too much, some would say, and that some would be me. I feel for that person. I'm gonna read the thing, but I feel for that person, whatever the situation is. 30 years, yeah. You're at 30 years? Nah. Yeah, it's something to do with how my camera is angled. Somehow this thing has gotten off center, and that's what's causing my tracking with my neck getting stuck. I could just do the webcam tracking, but it's just not as good. Like at all. Like the iPhone tracking is just better. Let's see. That's too much. I'll just deal with it for the rest of the stream. But while this weekend I'm gonna see if I can fix it. see if I can finally get this stand sitting right. All right, am I the asshole if I don't want to help take care of my spouse's disabled friend for the next 30 years? I, male 27. Oh, for some reason I thought it would be the wife and then the male would have the friend. I don't know why I thought it would be that way. I, male 27, and my spouse, female 26, have been together for a few years, no kids and none planned. And her best friend is disabled and unable to walk or get around as much as her current family, who takes care of her, as much as her current family who takes care of her is absolutely neglecting the entire house, talking about hoarding and disgusting. Hold on, you buddy, I'm gonna need some commas in this bitch. Um, okay, I and my spouse have been together for a few years, no kids, none planned. Her best friend is disabled, unable to walk or get around as much as her current family, who takes care of her, is absolutely neglecting. Her current family, who is taking care of her, is absolutely neglecting the entire house, talking about hoarding and disgusting. What? I feel like I'm having a stroke. What are you saying? Okay, that makes sense. And then you're saying neglect. Okay, is absolute. Okay, the family who takes care of her is absolutely neglecting the entire house, talking about hoarding and disgusting is what I think he meant to say it like. I am set in a government career path for the next decade where I will be moving around 3 to 5 times and sometimes out of the country. Meanwhile, my spouse is in school and hopefully will have a job in the medical field. We had minor discussions in the past about my spouse wanting her best friend to move in with us as her family is filthy. Her family house is filthy and she's seen how nursing homes treat and abuse patients and don't want her friend to be in one. Today we had a deep conversation about it where I told her unless we build a smaller house as an extension of our home, then I'll be comfortable with it. But under the same roof, I'm just not comfortable sharing my private living space with someone not considered my family, and I'm not even comfortable sharing my immediate living space with my own parents and siblings unless it's an extended home. Financially, my career alone can take care of both of us to get by, but I'm not sure if I can take care of more. My spouse was not happy, and that's the only option I'm open to. That's the only option I'm open to, and argue since we'll be moving around frequently, we cannot have an extended home in every house we get to. When I also brought up that if we get forced into a place where only government employees and spouses are restricted to living into a government area, my spouse says she can buy a place to rent for her and her best friend. When I mentioned that if her best friend gets bored doing nothing, my spouse my when I mentioned what if her best friend gets bored doing nothing, my spouse mentioned when she gets done with work, she can go hang out with her friend. Mind you, we rarely see each other because of my job and her school. This makes me feel like she's prioritizing her relationship with her best friend over our relationship. In the end, she was upset because I was not more open to the idea, and she was willing to leave her best friend to continue living in the house she's at. What do you do in the government? I need to know that you are not doing paperwork because this formatting is atrocious. There are like 15 thoughts per sentence, none of them divided by a comma or a fucking CIA. Yeah, that's about the kind of CIA we got. That's the kind of CIA we've got. Only the best, baby. TLDR, her spouse, best friend disabled, best friend family neglecting the house and best friend. Spouse wants best friend to move in permanently with us. Nursing home and best friend families and no, I'm not comfortable unless it's a separate extended house. Spouse mat ATA. What kind of disability is this? Like with her legs, with her arms, with her is it her mental faculties or is it her physical abilities or is it both? He didn't really specify. In what way would you be, because that kind of matters, in what way would you be taking care of her? I understand, like, okay, so she's a dependent, it sounds like she's a dependent, so it would be completely on them to financially take care of her, so I get that, not wanting to do that. I was under the impression that he was worried about physically taking care of her, and then he says the next 30 years. Is that like her projected lifespan? Where did the 30 years come from? How old is she? How old is this like her projected? You could have said like for the rest of her life. It feels weird to say the next 30 years. Update, her friend has some type of disease. I'm not exactly sure what's the name, but it degrades the body and bones over time. Something as simple as opening the hand or walking is impossible. My spouse tells me it breaks her heart seeing her friend wither away over time and promised to look after her before we met. Ooh. Eee. Promised to look after her before we met as she got the medical training to do so. She says she doesn't want to lose another friend. I told her I know where she's coming from, but there's too much variables and not enough planning done with not knowing when she would like her best friend to move in. Things got extremely heated and she said some very hurtful stuff that most people would have called it quits. Wow. That bad? She said things that were so horrible that you thought that most people would have gotten a divorce over it? What the fuck did she say to you? Info. What did she say? I mean, this is a clearly very important thing to her that honestly could be a deal breaker. And it would be you would feel like an asshole breaking up over something like this. There's no easy way out of this. He has the right to not want to financially support her best friend, especially when it was something that she made a deal about before they met. Let's see. Things got extremely heated. She said some very hurtful things. Most people would call it quits, which I attempted, but I backed down because I don't want everything we have done to go to waste. That's the only thing we have ever argued to this intensity. Wow, so he was even thinking divorce? When you say call it quits, that's the only thing I could figure. I don't think he mean like call it quits on the argument. He said, which I attempted, but I backed down because I don't want everything we have done to go to waste. To go to waste implies that he was really thinking about just saying, all right, let's get divorced. But this is honestly a make it or break it thing. She made this decision before you guys got together. And it sounds like it was not disclosed to you until now. And considering that her friend has a degenerative disease, that is something that means she has, when she made the promise, she was probably a little bit more, you know, it had a little bit more ability. I don't know what that would look like for her, considering like opening the hand or walking is impossible. So I don't know if it's always been impossible and it's just gotten worse, or if at one point when she made this promise that she was able to do some of those things. I don't know how degenerative it is. I don't know how really long it's been. But this is something that should have been disclosed immediately. And it kind of sounds like it wasn't. This is something that he should have known going in, was that, hey, I have a best friend. She's disabled and I want to take her in. Because I don't think the family just suddenly got messed up. But if it did, but she said she promised to take care of her. So it sounds like this has always been a thing in the plan. This is something that should have always been involved with everything they did. Every step of their planning should have also included this. And the fact that it's only coming up now, I guess because they're neglecting the house and her. So, I mean, that makes sense. But she already decided that she was going to take care of her. So it's gotten worse, but she already kind of made the decision to take care of her, which is something that should have been disclosed. And now the urgency is what kicked it up, but it should have always been something they talked about. She shouldn't have brought it up suddenly. And I can't blame him for not wanting to take on the financials for somebody he really doesn't seem to know that well. Godspeed to her. She has, she's the victim in all this. The friend, she's the victim in all this. However, if this is only something that's come up now, he doesn't have any obligation, nor does it even seem like he knows this woman very well, to put up that kind of money and time. And then they're going to be moving a lot. That's a whole extra person to consider each and every time. And you don't have that kind of relationship with this woman to consider that to be your priority too. Yes, what your wife cares about, you should care about. But that is not just a matter of caring about something. That is a whole extra undertaking. And another person in the household who has specific needs is not like talking about it. I don't know if they went around this the right way, but it doesn't seem like the wife did. Um, Not the asshole. This is a massive ask on her part. The friend should be looking for self autonomy, not relying on a friend. You say spouse. Are you married? This sounds like a deal breaker for you. You need to sit down and tell her this is not what you expected or wanted from your life together, and you do not see yourself as a caretaker to her friend because you will end up doing so as well. She is more interested and invested in her friend than you. What she wants to do is nice and caring, but she has to factor in your feeling in her life with you. You have a way up if you want this. Uh, you have to weigh up if you want this. I think they meant like weigh, like WEIGH. If you want this or if the relationship is over. If you realize that it's too much and want to leave, then don't feel guilty about it. She has forced your hand. It seems like it would be her only way. Um, if you do not, and you do not matter in this. Okay, I think this probably was posted before the edit. So looking for self autonomy. If she has a disease that is that degenerative, she it doesn't I'm sure she desires autonomy, but it doesn't sound like if she can't walk or open her hands or anything, the kind of autonomy you're talking about, um you oh well she should get her own place. It doesn't sound like that's super possible, and we don't know where this takes place, but it doesn't sound like that would be the easiest thing. So but I think this was probably made before the edit. um I do agree this is a deal breaker, and and they make a good point that yes, he will eventually wind up taking care of that friend. That will you There's no way that the friend will be, I don't know if this friend is bedridden or maybe in a wheelchair or what kind of situation it is. Whatever this situation is with the friend, he probably will eventually be asked, hey, can you do this, can you do that for her? And then yes, he will be then financially and physically taking care of this friend whom he is not invested in because he doesn't seem to really know this woman. That is a really big ask on her end. Not the asshole. I took care of my disabled mom for 9 years. She, like your wife's friend, at least from what it sounds like, was at a nursing home level of care. Taking on that kind of care is hard. Your entire life revolves around the care. Something as simple as you and your wife want to have a dinner date has to include questions like, is there someone to stay with friend and help them? What will friend have for dinner if she's alone? What if there's an emergency when we're gone? What if they need to use the bathroom? Can they go unassisted? There's also the fact that disability will not always remain as it is now. Things will get better, things will get worse, and things getting worse means more assistance is needed. How much assistance is your wife willing to give, and if is and her friend comfortable with receiving? The only way it works, the absolutely only way, is if everyone involved agrees to it. That includes you. Everyone being on board is the way means that everyone works to find solutions that keeps a friend in your home, keeps relationships between everyone intact, and allows everyone to find balance between personal time, relationship time, and obligations. Taking care of my mom meant that I had to quit my job. There were home health aides who came to help, but it was unreliable. I lost my mom in 2021 and will never regret the time spent taking care of her. But caregiving isn't for everyone. If you're against it for any reason, being forced into a position is just going to make things bad for everyone. And he will resent the wife, and unfortunately, he will resent the friend. And when people are sick, they can be kind of they can be really crabby, clammy, and just downright nasty. And if she's having a particularly bad day with her situation and she's cursing and she's being mean and she's swearing and stuff, the, the person who is invested in that person can turn the other cheek. The person who never wanted this in the first place, that will only breed resentment. That is a bad situation inside of a worse situation. So a lot of not the assholes, just divorced, and I say that because she's prioritizing her BFF over you. She's not going to stop until she gets her way. Honestly, you want this to be your main topic of discussion for the rest of your life. Your wife is being totally unreasonable. Was the accident that caused her BFF to be disabled your wife's fault? You have a holy shit. Okay, no, that was made before the edit, but even so, that was kind of a fucking weird thing to say. Well, was it her fault? Otherwise, like, no, she just clearly really loves her friend. But yeah, no, they diverge on this thing, and nothing you can do about that except for say, hey, a lot of comments want to say the wife is selfish, but in reality, she just wants someone to be there for your best friend, for her best friend, and she knows no one will give up their time. I think it's honorable, and if you really loved her, some sacrifices are needed. This doesn't mean she doesn't love you, just as she doesn't want someone who she loves suffering when they can be there. Yeah, but if he's not invested in this person, um it's only going to breed resentment because he doesn't know her. He doesn't seem to really have a relationship with her. That's a big ask. So yeah, I'm gonna say not the. I'm gonna say not the asshole, and no assholes here. I don't think she's an asshole. I think she just really didn't think it through, and also things have gotten worse than it was back when she made the promise. But I don't think it's I don't think there's any, yeah, a giant ass, fucking huge ass. But I don't think there's any assholes here. I think it's somebody who loves their friend, and there's somebody who was kind of looped into something last minute, who is having to decide between his wife and changing his life, turning the life that he expected to have with his wife completely on its head for who knows how long. But I want to know where he got the 30-year projection from. Monumental. Yeah, like Godspeed to both of them. I kind of want to I think if you hit follow post, it's going to tell you every time there's a comment, and I don't want that, but I will check up on this thread. Let me save this. I will check up on this thread in a few days and see if there's any changes, cuz I'm interested to see how that'll go. I'm the asshole for ruining my boyfriend's family dinner by bringing my own food. I'm the asshole for openly practicing my religion even if it upsets my family. Not touching that. I'm the asshole for winning my mom's storage unit at an auction instead of giving her money to save it herself. Ooh. All right. So this isn't spaced out, but it looks like they're at least using commas and periods, unlike that other guy. So, okay. So they were ruled not the asshole. So let's see. I'm the asshole for winning my mom's storage unit at an auction instead of giving her money to save it herself. I, 24 female, was in and out of the foster care system. My mom would lose custody of me and my 3 siblings, only to do the bare minimum to get us back just for the cycle to repeat. I eventually aged out of foster care, went to college, and moved to another state. I still check in with my mom every week. She was diagnosed with heart failure, which came on from other terrible decisions. I offer support when she reaches out, whether it's her money, with her money, food, etc. Most of the time, I don't hear back, and when I do, it's usually just because she wants something. She has a long history of lying to and stealing from all of us. She's currently homeless. We have offered her a place to stay if she gets clean, and she won't. After we turned 18, she reconnected with our extended family, grandparents, and cousins, and those relationships have become important to us. A couple of months ago, she called me in a panic at 2 a.m. in the morning. She said her storage units were about to be auctioned off. She said that she wasn't even behind on payments, that the owners were just trying to scam her. She needed $1,000 immediately because there were only 15 hours before it left before the auction. No, that shit don't read right to me. Nah. Um, I told her I'd check in the morning once I got to work and see what I could do. The next day, I did some digging and looked at the contents of the storage units. What was listed broke my heart. Family photos, vases from great grandparents, personal documents, birth certificates, social security cards, and my mom's clothing and tools, and everything from my grandmother's house. She passed away just last year. I decided to bid on the unit myself and ended up spending nearly $1,200 for it. Afterward, I spoke to the owners, who told me they had been trying to help my mom for months. Discounts, payment extensions, etc. But eventually she just stopped answering them. They said they had no other option but to auction it. I was devastated. My siblings said if I hadn't stepped in, all of those memories, important documents would have ended up in a stranger's hands. My siblings were relieved and grateful, but my mom, she accused me of violating her trust, told me I emotionally robbed her, that I stole from her, and said that I was a mistake. Oh. I will go now. Have a good one. Have a good one. See you, man. Thanks for hanging in. Wow, shit. She even claimed her grandparents would be ashamed of me. I ended up taking a few days off work, drove out of state to the unit, and went through everything. I only kept what belonged to me and my siblings: photos, documents, anything tied to our family history. I didn't throw away a single item of hers. Instead, I rented a new storage unit just down the road, moved all her belongings there, and paid 3 months in advance. I gave her all the info. Now I'm just stuck with this heavy feeling. I can't shake the guilt. I crossed the line and sank to her level somehow. But at the same time, I couldn't bear to see everything important to us vanish, especially knowing it would probably happen again in 6 months. Am I the asshole for buying the storage unit out from under her? I don't think so. This is somebody chronically unstable. And because you found out, like, Like it seemed, I don't know if you were already gonna, let's see, did some diggings, looked at the content of a storage unit. Okay, so you looked at the contents and then you decided to buy it. Um, I don't think you're the asshole. I think your mom is severely unstable. She's got problems. She's had problems for years, and she might have some sort of addiction or something. But what makes me say that is because when people have addictions, that makes them so uncharacteristically hostile to people who slight them even a little bit. Like, because you're getting in the way of whatever thing they're doing, whatever thing they've got going on, and they see that as like some sort of monumental um decision on your part, and you're the scum of the earth. She may genuinely have just a few different situations going on, and all of them are fighting for importance. And I feel like at least if it's in your hands and you gave her the information, that's the best possible thing to happen to it. Otherwise, like you said, in 6 months, um, and who's to say she would have used $1,000 for the unit? With her track record of doing the bare minimum, messing things up, long history, lying, stealing. So at sending her $1,000, maybe she would have spent it on the unit. But she also may as well very well just spent it on whatever it is she spends her money on. And then she's homeless, so the temptation obviously would have been there to spend it on a place to sleep, something to eat, and then the unit would have still been gone. All the photos would have still been gone, and you would have been kind of stolen from again, or lie by omission. So yeah, no, I don't think she's the asshole. I almost want to say no assholes here. The mom clearly has mental and unaddressed mental issues. Um, First off, you're not the asshole, not by a long shot. Next, this is from this internet stranger to you. I'm so sorry for this painful situation. I know this is a difficult time for you and your family. Most importantly, though, please take time to be very gentle with yourself in this time. It sounds like you're carrying a big burden of things with you, other people's words and pain, memories that probably aren't yet healed, and other things. The heavy feeling you said you feel like you're stuck with, the guilt and concern you feel are very real feelings, and I hope you truly give yourself the space and grace to feel your feelings here, to cry, to vent, and to even laugh when needed. I wonder if the feelings you describe might be a sort of grief over the situation, grief over your mother's health, grief at the evident pain your mother has experienced in life that led to things to get this bad, and even grief over an innocence in just a time in your life that you may have realized isn't there anymore. Consider also being deliberate in the language you use to describe what just happened. Buying it out from under her sounds different than a reframe of saving important family treasures and helping the family. Are there ways you can describe it differently in the words you use? Are things mom might be saying to you actually spoken from a place of pain and fear and not from a true sense of love? Lastly, again, I'm so sorry for your situation, and I sincerely hope things get better. That's a very kind response. It's very sweet. That's good. Like, just be nicer to yourself. The words you use are very important, especially to yourself. We're approaching 3 hours and 30 minutes of reading Reddit posts. So, I think I'm gonna pretty much end it here. Let's see, would I be the asshole if I checked out mentally? I cook for my boyfriend and he ordered. Okay, let's read this one. Okay, so this one was deleted, but there's always a oh. Okay, so there's only an explanation, but there's not even a summary in the comments. Interesting. I'm not sure if I'm the asshole for this, but I told him if I feel as if I'm the only one trying this relationship. It feels really high school. I just woke him from a 5-year coma. Oh, congratulations. Welcome back. You might want to go back to sleep. Ain't shit going on in 2025 that anybody needs to be here for. Go back. Fuck, go back. Try again in 2027 or at least 2030. Give yourself another 5 years. Let's see. I'm not sure if I'm the asshole for this or not, but I told him I feel as if I'm the only one trying this relationship. It feels really high school boy-ish booty call rather than an actual adult relationship. We've been together for 2 years and it feels like we're going nowhere. We're not on the same page in life. Well, it sounds like it's a pretty simple thing. This one got deleted. I wonder why. And yeah, so for refusing to compromise on food rules I have for myself when cooking for 2 people. Let's see how long this one is. Not long. Am I the asshole for refusing to compromise on food rules I have for myself when cooking for two people? I have eaten mostly vegetarian for years with the exception of a few days a month when I'm menstruating, and on those days I eat meat. Huh. It's kind of a stupid thing and probably has no real benefit, but it's how I fed myself since I started needing to, and it's become an important part of my routine. My boyfriend, on the other hand, loves meat and has with almost every meal. I love cooking and make most of the meals we have together. Recently, he has been hinting that if he's eating with me more often, I should eat meat with him. I made a steak a few weeks ago, then his birthday happened and he asked me for the same thing. When he asked me for the same thing, he got quiet and distant after I made myself something vegetarian and said it would have been nicer if I had eaten the same thing as him. This all came to a boiling point last night when he brought chicken for me to cook for him. I told him I was happy for him to eat it himself, but if I wasn't eating it, I wasn't cooking it as I already made a perfectly good meal. He doesn't treat me as a housewife or expect me to cook for him daily, but he doesn't understand why I wouldn't do this for him since I was already cooking. I explained I wasn't doing it specifically because I was already cooking and that I was offended that he didn't believe the meal I made was good enough on its own. He got frustrated and later when talking to his friends, he mentioned it as a joke and they sided with him. I doubled down when I overheard this and he said I should compromise by making meals for both of us and consider his taste when deciding what to have. Am I the asshole? If he wants meat all the time, he can cook it. He's a grown man. He also needs to cook. She says he doesn't make him cook all the time, make her cook all the time, but it sounds like more often than not he wants her to cook. Exactly. If you want meat with the meals and she doesn't want meat except for once a month, butt up. I wanted to say buckle up or nut up, and I just said butt up. Oh my god, I'm tired. Time to butt up. Sai, you are not the asshole. You write that he does not expect you to play housewife or expect you to cook for him daily. I'm not sure where you're making the distinction because it clearly expects you to cook for him on demand and expects you to do it over if you did not cook what he wanted. Then he decided to take the issue to his pals. Does that sound respectful to you? There's nothing wrong with him wanting to eat meat more often than you do. There's something very wrong with him lacking the self-discipline and personal standards to cook the meat himself without even suggesting that you should do it. You are not the asshole, but I think you are not looking at his behavior with clear eyes. Agreed. I said as someone who eats meat but mostly has vegetarian parents. I I went through a phase of eating a lot of pasta, but I am meat eater. I am meat eater bitch supreme, okay? I love eating meat, bro. Um Fucking give me all of that. I don't care if it's well done, I don't care if it's medium, I don't care if it's rare. Hand it all to me. Chicken quesadilla, thank you. Hamburger, thank you. Ham sandwich, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Um, I wish animals weren't so delicious. I wish it was a complete. I wish only the only meat I ever ate was humanely gotten, like from a cow that had a long and happy life, and then they just conked it in the head, but it felt no pain one day. But I understand that is not how it happens, and I understand I am part of that system, and I'm so sorry. Maybe in the future we'll have more opportunities, um, to have ethically sourced meat, but I don't know. I don't think those animals consented. I'm gonna be honest with you. Neither those plants. I don't know. You know, like at the moment, I just don't think there's any way under capitalism we'll get ethically sourced meat. Um, Best you farm the animals yourself. Um, so I'm seeing a lot of not the asshole. I'm gonna see if anybody was delusional and said that she was the asshole. I really want to see because every now and again there's just somebody who's absolutely doing mental gymnastics to the extreme. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. Everyone sucks here is interesting. You again. You comment on here constantly. Um, this really isn't a vegetarian versus meat issue. You've stated that you occasionally eat meat and you obviously don't have a problem preparing meat in your kitchen home. Having said that, there's no rule that partners have to eat identical meals, but it's a nice thing to cook dishes that your partner likes on occasion if you don't eat them yourself. He's out of line for expecting you to eat meat just because he's eating meat, and bringing you raw chicken with no notice discussion, expecting you to cook was definitely an entitled asshole move. You're out of line for the if I'm not eating it, I'm not cooking it ultimatum. Would it really be that big of a deal to maybe once a week or so cook a simple chicken breast pork chop or hamburger patty alongside an otherwise vegetarian meal. I certainly cook things ever so often for my partner that I don't eat. Everyone sucks here because I think a reasonable compromise is right in front of you and neither one of you wants to offer it. I think you suck. Cooking is like, and also who's doing the dishes? Is he doing the dishes? Is she doing the dishes? Are both of them doing the dishes? Cooking is tiring. And if she's working and he's coming home with a fucking chicken breast and he's just like, yo, can you cook this too? Die. Don't, no. You if you want it, you can cook it. If he wants, like, if he has, now I will say this, I don't think it would be such a bad thing if she cooked, if she just on her own decided to cook him some steak or something every now and again. I'm sure he doesn't want to eat vegetarian all the time, but also if you're eating, if she's the one cooking and you're the one eating, you don't really get any input. You can suggest, you can ask, and if you don't, if she decides not to cook that thing, well, that's just a quirk of your relationship you will have to live with, and you may as well get used to cooking more or eating out more. Not that hard. I can't hear you over my crippling anxiety and depression that makes it harder. I'm not gonna stop using that. Fair enough. But yeah, it's absolutely on him. It's absolutely on him. If he has a special request and he keeps pressuring her, it's like, okay, if you have a request, that's fine. If you say, hey, can you do this? And you don't, okay, that's fine. Okay, can we sit down and talk about why you don't do this so I can kind of understand on a deeper level or something? But like, just, well, I can't believe you don't do this. Guys, fellas, she's crazy, right? Women be shopping. Okay, if you, all right. The one thing I have, the one rule I have about my mother and my partner, if I have a partner, I always have a mother, but if I have a partner, I do not talk shit or talk about our disagreements to anyone. When I last had a partner, I did not talk about our disagreements to my mother. If it was really, really, really something that I cared about, but something like this, or if I was just like, she does this and that, but like being like, hey guys, weird, right? She should definitely be cooking. Yeah, bro, she should definitely be cooking. Okay, do y'all want to come over and cook him something? Do y'all want to marry him? I mean, we could switch out, change the names on the marriage certificate. Since you clearly want to be over here cooking him something, you marry him, all right? Or you fucking move in with him or whatever. But yeah, just because something is easy doesn't mean it's not hard. Cooking requires a lot of focus, which is very, very difficult for some people. I bet this asshat will also rage if the chicken is overcooked accidentally. It's definitely, yeah. Like, just because something is easy, exactly. Just because something easy doesn't mean it's not hard. It's not like, it's still something you have to focus on and check on and look after and make sure it's not overcooked or undercooked. And he just brought a chicken. Like, you didn't at least bring a steak or like pork or something that you don't have to be completely on top of the temperature of. Chicken is a fucking chicken is a beast, bro, because if you undercook that shit, you are getting sick. But like, she doesn't even eat meat that often. So like, bro, just fucking cook your own meal. You're weird. Yeah, I think it's weird. Everyone sucks here. Okay, let's see what he's saying. Everyone sucks here. Did I get this right? Is it he always pays you and you usually do the cooking? Pays. Y'all need to work out a fair compromise that y'all both happy with. If he always pays, I don't see why you can't cook with meat sometimes. Not always, which I think you are doing. Maybe make a proportion to how often he pays for a meal out. Just come up with something you both feel is fair. Communication is key. Criticizing and calling it a joke as well as weaponize his friend are red flags. I will call out the behavior immediately. I pay for ingredients and groceries, but he pays for all the meals we don't cook. When you go out, you can eat whatever you want. When you cook, he's forced to eat vegetarian unless you're preparing meat as well. Doesn't sound like an equitable arrangement to me, just saying. No, he's not forced to eat shit. He can go, that kitchen is there. That kitchen does not materialize when she walks into it. He wants meat. he can go in there and cook. Or you know what? Here's a good compromise. Say, hey, sweetie, I know you're cooking vegetarian. Do you mind throwing some broccoli on for me? And I will make the meat that will go with it. That way, at least it's still within the bounds of what she's cooking. You are pulling out, if she's going vegetarian, she's probably pulling out different tools and shit. Like, she probably don't need to throw that broccoli on the grill. Idiots. Fucking weirdos out here, man. All right, we probably read one more. Let's see what this one is. I don't like the formatting already. Yes, hold for copy their proposal. That sounds so petty. It's a little long. Let's see. Let's get ourselves a like. What? Oh, I got it. What's word? All right. Oh, nice and short. Am I the asshole for ruining my boyfriend's family dinner by bringing my own food? I'm 28 years old and I've been with my boyfriend for about a year. I have several food allergies, gluten, dairy, and shellfish. My boyfriend's family invited me over for a big homemade dinner. I told his mom ahead of time I have allergies. They already know this, but I remember them because I had a couple incidents with them because of this. And she said, don't worry, we'll have something for you. When I got there, everyone had at least one ingredient I couldn't eat. I didn't want to make a fuss or go hungry, so I discreetly pulled out a Tupperware meal I made at home and started eating it. Smart. My boyfriend's mom looked offended and said I was being disrespectful and that I didn't trust her cooking. Later, my boyfriend told me he was embarrassed, or I embarrassed him, and I should have just eaten around the allergens to keep the peace. No, no. Everyone but OP sucks. Everybody else sucks. OP was just trying to shellfish is a fucking big deal. Gluten is a big deal. A dairy allergy is also can be a pretty big deal. These two, several, and she said several. Or I don't know if it's a she, it doesn't say. But what the fuck? Allergens, people think allergies are just something people have for what? For clout? You think I have a fucking shellfish allergy for clout? You think I'm just shitting my pants because I had some gluten because what? I thought it'd be a funny prank? People are so fucking weird about allergies, bro. And if you weren't gonna take her allergies seriously, you should have told her to eat before she comes or say, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I don't know if all of this food is completely free of all of your allergens, just because I think maybe some cross contamination may happen, and I'm not used to cooking for other people. But like anything, but trying to just feed her the food and saying, "Wink, I'm sure you'll be fine." You could have killed her if she wasn't more aware. Just eat around your allergens, like everything isn't getting cross contaminated. What did they serve? What did they serve? Because if they were serving like the gluten and the shellfish shit, that could have just straight up killed her. All because what? You didn't want her to be embarrassed? That boyfriend, weak, spineless man, deserves to be alone. Or at least with someone he can't accidentally kill because he don't want his mother to feel a little sad. She's gonna feel even sadder when she has to pay for the funeral. When I arrived, now the dishes were safe for me. I didn't want to go hungry and make a scene. Picked around the food. I believe I might be the asshole because the action I took bringing and eating my own food at the family dinner might have been seen as disrespectful to the host, especially after she told me she'd accommodate me. I didn't tell her ahead of time I was bringing my own food. I didn't try to talk to about the situation before eating it. I can see how that could have made her feel dismissed or insulted, even though it wasn't my intention. The action should have been judged. The action that should be judged because I brought and ate my own prepared food to my boyfriend's family dinner without telling his mother, even though she didn't provide the food. This action could make me look an idiot, since if I knew about the situation with his mother, because it happened to me on previous occasions, I should have talked to her about it instead of doing it secretly. By eating my own food without talking about it first, I may have made her feel like I didn't value her or trust her efforts. That could be considered disrespectful to her as a host, so I will wonder if I was wrong. No. No. Yeah, not the asshole. Your boyfriend is the asshole and massive one for suggesting you physically suffer for his family's approval. Right. I hate when people understand I am allergic to as I dislike. This one can be life-threatening. It is not something to be taken. Exactly. I don't want to put you out, Diane. It seems like everything was cooked with something that isn't safe for me. And honestly, even cross contamination is dangerous. So I brought something I could snack on so I wouldn't miss out on time with you. To your boyfriend, you flatly flatly ask why he doesn't care about your safety. My mother is reactive to chicken. You will be stunned how many sauces, seasoning, and off the shelf things have chicken stock in them as flavoring. So for family meals, I ask people to bring vegan label items and only handle meats myself so that there's never anything with chicken in the kitchen where her food is. You don't play with allergies or eat around them or say there isn't much in the dish. Bro, that is crazy. I once read someone on Pinterest bragging about how the secret ingredient in her potato salad is that she cooked the potatoes in chicken broth. Keyword secret. Potato salad, a dish that's commonly vegetarian. Who thinks to ask if there's chicken in the potato salad, right? My own has bacon in it, and I do not keep it a secret. Naturally, she was royally offended when I called her out on it. That is crazy. Cooking the potatoes in chicken broth? Yeah, so somebody who's vegetarian or vegan or allergic would be like, well, the potato salad's at least safe, and then eat it and die. Bro, it's crazy. Why does your boyfriend's family try to kill you? How does any of this make you the bad person here, not the asshole? I mean, yeah, like, maybe you could have told them that you would bring something just in case. But, like, I still say women often, if this is in fact a woman, so I'll talk generally here, women are so often asked to put everybody else's comfort over their own safety and their own comfort. And so often women will find the need um to deal with being uncomfortable, deal with being insulted, and even deal with possibly being poisoned and killed for what, the sake of social graces. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch and her killer ass dinner. Bro, you had to do what you had to do to protect yourself and not go hungry. Yeah, she could have explained it, but that still doesn't negate the fact that she was right for doing what she did. Everyone sucks here except for the OP. OP, please break up with that guy and get with somebody who actually cares about you and your health and safety. Uh, what? You're the asshole. If you're going to repost it, maybe try changing some details as opposed to just pasting the whole thing verbatim. Oh, repost, huh? Well, then the original poster is not the asshole. This seems so made up. It feels like Chat GPT just trying to validate findings. What do you mean by validate findings? Everyone sucks here, but not because you brought your own food. You stop pretending and engage in unrealistic, wishful thinking, like you're going to eat meals somewhere when you know you can't trust them, especially gluten allergies, people with dust flour and everything. There's extremely low chance you were going to be able to eat their meals, and you just let them believe you're going to. This is not the correct way of handling it, and you contributed to it becoming a thing. In other words, I told his mom ahead of time I have allergies. He already know, but I remember them because they had a couple of incidents with because I've had a couple of incidents with them because of this. And she said, "Don't worry, we'll all have something for you." What you should have said is that you're happy to join them for dinner, but due to your extreme sensitivity to many ingredients, you will bring your own food to eat, and you want to make sure they're okay with that because you don't want them to be rude. You don't want to be rude. Don't say it as an option. Don't present it as negotiable. The part that is negotiable is whether you join them for dinner, not what you eat. Don't let them talk you out of it. Stand your ground. If they aren't okay with you bringing your own food, you should not go. I kind of agree with that, but I don't like the way you said that. And also, I don't feel like the way that this person went about things contributed to being a thing. I believe the callous way that they have treated her health in the past contributed to this being a thing. I don't believe this is ChatGPT because it actually has like some formatting errors and some uncapitalized words. And I know that AI is capable of making mistakes, but so far, out of all the AI that I've seen, I don't think I've ever seen I think ChatGPT over formats things. I don't think I've ever seen ChatGPT make mistakes or like, I mean, if you maybe asked it to, but usually people will just ask for somebody to make ask it for somebody to make it a, like a you're the asshole an am I the asshole post and just post it verbatim because they're lazy and they don't even have any imagination to ask it to change it up or something. I don't know. Or maybe they went in and edited it, but most people just copy paste. So I don't think so, but if this person did copy this post, then yeah, this is probably a bot account. But I believe that this is an original post because people are so fucking weird about allergies. Definitely the privilege of somebody who thinks they can just find another girl. Yeah, after he kills her with the fucking gluten food that she's eating. All right. Black Widow type of shit. Okay, this has been fun. Reading, Am I the Asshole post. I think next time I'm gonna intersperse Am I the Asshole. I'm going to have Petty Revenge, and I'm probably gonna have like malicious compliance and stuff too. Um, and we're gonna alternate those because malicious compliance and the other one, Petty Revenge, can be very entertaining. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? Probably, yeah. I think so. I honestly cannot stand people who think others should be willing to meet unrealistic expectations just to avoid offending people, especially if it's something like life or death, like allergies. Like fucking exactly. Your social graces will do you no good in the grave. Social graces, social graves, okay? You will be in the ground trying to be polite about it. More people should just be able to say fuck no and dip, you know? But because of social conventions, we have to filter it through 15 different ways of politely saying no. That's why I think cultures where you can just say no outright are just superior. It's just a superior social thing to be able to say no, and that's it. American culture has us layering 15 different soft, no, I'm not, no, I don't think so, sorry, and then giving all these excuses. American culture has an obsession with being nice about things, when if we just all spoke our goddamn minds, we would get shit done so much faster. That said, and we gained a follower tonight, everybody. Yay! So with that said, that will be the end of our Reddit post reading. We're sub 4 hours. Thank you everybody for being here. If you were here for 1 minute or for the entire time, thank you for spending time with me. You could have been anywhere, but you were here, and that means